Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instant Ramen Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Yo.
How you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. It was a long day at work. Good shit happened. And good-ass time. But last night, dude. Last fucking night. Watched Magic Mike. Now, I don't know if I've talked about how much I've wanted to see Magic Mike.
Really?
Yes, okay. Because Magic Mike 2, Magic Mike XXL or whatever it's called, apparently is just crazy fun.
Okay.
Now, the director of these movies is the same guy who made Ocean's 11.
Oh, I love those movies.
Yeah. So
get a game together.
That's
do the heist.
Yeah. So Magic Mike 2, tons of fun, nonstop fun, action, like jokes, just a crazy fun romp with a bunch of strippers, which makes it even funnier. But Magic Mike, now, I wasn't sure what to expect because I heard that about Magic Mike 2, and all I knew about it was like, moms fucking love this movie, and I didn't get that.
You're not a mom.
I'm not a mom. I don't get that. Like, I'm a dad. I get that. I get that.
We want to be moms. Can't do it though.
Can't be moms. That's fine. But so went in the movie not expecting a whole lot.
You watched it at home, right?
Watched it at home.
Okay, there wasn't like a special screening, and you're like, we gotta go see.
No.
Okay.
So we just hung out at home, and turns out it is a movie about strippers, and god damn it, their stripping acts are hilarious because it's so elaborate, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like what's all this?
Is this?
Yeah. I hated the main character. Mike's great. I love Channing Tatum. He was fucking great. Crushed it. Good character. Good everything. He's Mike.
He's the titular Mike.
He's the Mike.
He's the Magic Mike.
He's Mike.
Okay.
And dude, we got fucking Dallas, our boy that Kyle hates, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, why does Kyle hate Matthew McConaughey? I like that.
Because people don't know how to enjoy things. That's why. Kyle doesn't know how to enjoy Matthew McConaughey.
Do you like Interstellar? That movie was amazing.
He hates Interstellar.
He didn't like Wolf of Wall Street?
Well, I don't think he's ever seen that.
He's in it for a bit.
But yeah, he hates everything that he's in. And I was like, yo, go fuck yourself. Watch Kubo. Enjoy it. He's like, it was really good.
Oh, yeah, he is in that. Yeah, you forget.
I'm like, you would like this shit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways.
One movie makes a great career.
He was fucking great. But Mr. No-Name, guy that nobody knows, main character kid, he's a piece of shit. Fucking hated him. I think we're supposed to sympathize with him, but I goddamn hate him. He's
not Mike?
Not Mike.
Other guy. Other guy. Yeah, but you can tell I've never seen Magic Mike.
You've never seen Magic Mike, and that, as of right now, I've only seen the first one. Probably a good call. It was like a really weird drama where it wasn't good and it wasn't bad, but people talked about how much they hated Sarah. I think her name is Sarah Van Horn, something like that. Anyways, it's the love interest in the movie. They just couldn't take her seriously because she has resting bitch face and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, she was fine. What's wrong with you guys? You couldn't take it seriously because of her, not because of the absurd stripping acts and the drug use and all the crazy bullshit. Anyways, really okay drama.
But you watch this because you want to watch Magic Mike XXL or whatever.
Yeah, leading up to it.
And so you want some context or whatever. No, from what I've gathered, XL or whatever is a more fun version of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was just remember that ridiculous movie that came out a couple years? We're doing it again, and it's going to be crazy. Yeah. We're going to the World Championships of Stripping or something like that. I don't know.
I don't even know what it is, but I'm excited for it because it just sounds nuts. So that's what we're going to watch that for.
So out of 10, what would you say, Magic Mike?
5.
So anime of the year. Cool.
Yeah, anime of the year. 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And then I had the rest of my night set out to watch anime. Get caught up, watch every show.
So your plans were Magic Mike, anime.
That's a typical Saturday night for Chris Triplett, champion of whatever the fuck I do. Anyways, things changed very quickly where we were like, yeah, we should probably go see Spider-Man soon.
Before it's out of theaters,
Yeah, and then we're like, okay, so when do you want to see it? Tomorrow would be fine. Oh, no, wait, Game of Thrones is tomorrow. What about Monday? No, can't do it Monday. Why don't we do it Cheap Day Tuesday? And we're like, everyone's going to be there. Yeah. Fuck that shit.
It's the worst.
She's like, what about Wednesday? Nah, I got dinner with my mom's on Wednesday.
Damn, you got a bunch of plans.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not all. It's collective. People have things going on. And we're like, okay, what about right now? And she's like, well, I'm kind of tired, but... So then we just wound up watching Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Right,
Love it.
Good
Best Peter Parker.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hands down. I thought it was fantastic. I really liked the villain. I liked that they made you sympathize with him. I liked the love interest. I liked everything about it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The one thing that I didn't like, which is the same thing that I don't like about most superhero movies, which they kind of covered a little bit, but I thought it was a little bit hypocritical too, is that, there's so much damage caused by these superheroes.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man Spider-Man thinks he's trying to do a great thing, but he's not doing it in smart ways.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a bunch of explosions, and I'm like, people are
Probably hurt.
and,
Yeah,
all this money, and, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So that was just me being frustrated throughout that movie.
Okay, so, yeah, I liked Homecoming a lot. Sierra said that she didn't think Peter Parker was hot, and I was like, yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be hot.
He's not. He's never been hot.
I mean, he's always been kind of
be hot.
He's always been kind of a nerd or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, he is like, they do draw him pretty sexy. Like
isn't he older now? Like,
I mean, depends what you're.
He's not
reading.
like 15 like he is in this movie.
I think in the Ultimates universe, he might still be super young or whatever.
Wait, really?
Because Marvel's weird.
Every time that I see him in the comics, I'm like, he's like early 20s.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like in their 30s, and
they're all in their like perpetual time of always being in their 30s or whatever.
Yeah, the 30s or like 40s.
Yeah. No, right now I think he's like he's like the head of Parker Incorporated or something like that. Like
that's so
he's like
much further than this show.
Yeah.
Where he's just a kid.
So I liked it too. They didn't like rehash the whole with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, they didn't do any of that.
We didn't need that anymore. No. Like it was as subtle as I can't do this to Aunt May. She's been through so much. It's like, oh, cool.
That's all we need.
Because everybody with the pulse knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're like, okay, clearly he's an orphan. Yeah. And like some other shit's probably gone down because Aunt May is the only one that's in his life. And so they didn't even focus much on her, which I thought was great.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. And then when we talked, the only knowledge I have about Magic Mike was... I didn't see it. I'd never want to see it. I like Channing Tatum. I think he's I've seen him.
He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Funny dude too.
He's got great comedic timing. Yeah, I've seen him playing roles where I like him. There's roles that I see him. I'm like, I just like G.I. Joe was such a bad movie, or whatever. But like there are other movies. Like there's one movie where he's in love with some chick and she loses her memory, and it's just like he has to make her fall in love again. It's like a super sappy like chick flick. Yeah, I like it. You know, he's
good in those. Yeah, he's great in everything.
So, but I never got around to watching Magic Mike because I don't for obvious reasons. I'm a straight man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like they don't market it in a way that makes you feel like you should watch it. Yeah, but, like after seeing it, I'm like. Yeah, I saw just as many boobs as I saw man's butts.
No, in the second one, maybe it's more marketed as more like a fun time or whatever because they had I think they have Gabriel Iglesias and
he was in the first one.
Yeah, in the second one he's a DJ, right? That's what.
He was the drug dealer.
Was he? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
nice.
But he's like the really nice guy, and all these complaints. I just couldn't take it seriously because of this girl, and it's like, really? The comedian Gabriel Iglesias as like a hard drug dealer?
He's like a fat big.
You believe that?
Yeah. Anyways, I remember Sierra asking me. I always remember this, and it's so funny because she wanted to watch Magic Mike, and she is like him. She was like, "Hey, is it okay if I watch this?" I was just like, and it wasn't like I'm insecure about the fact that I don't have rippling pecs or biceps. It was just like, well, I don't know, like why do you feel like that's like, well, I don't know if you'd feel uncomfortable. Like, like
the fact that you asked
it
makes it weird.
Yeah, so I was just like, well, I was like, if there's a movie about strippers or whatever, would you be upset if I saw that or whatever? Uh-huh. And then she was just like, oh yeah, I wouldn't want you to watch it. I was like, well, then I guess do whatever you want, but like. So like if there's a stripper movie, I might go watch it or whatever. And she's just like, yeah, okay, I guess I won't watch it. So it's just fine. Years go by, and then later on, it comes out to light that she watched Magic Mike, like first and the second one, even though she told me she wasn't going to. And I'm just like, yeah, it's like the only time she's ever lied to me. And I'm just like,
that's so funny.
I remember calling her. I was like, you said you weren't going to watch it, and she just like instantly like, well, I was like, yeah, I got you. You broke your promise. Anyway,
yeah, no, it was all right. Like, I don't know if you ever wind up watching it. Like, hopefully you'll enjoy it because it's just like it's a decent drama. I just fucking hate the main character.
Yeah, you'll watch the second one too. I bet you'll have a better time. Hopefully.
Hey, man.
Let's get into stuff. Yeah, we promised we wouldn't have like a long intro because we have so many shows to talk about. Yeah. Real quick, I actually got to meet your mom.
Oh yeah, you did get to meet my mom. Hey, congratulations!
Thank you.
And then DJ stepped down from the Cider Boys finally.
Right, yeah,
he was like, "All right, boys, it's time for me to leave," and like left the Cider Boys page. But then he came back at the Slime Girls page because we're all slime girls at heart,
Yeah. So things are changing. We're all progressing. We're all becoming more mature adults. But let's get into the news.
Yo, so check it out. One Piece is getting a Hollywood live-action series. Now, I don't know if you know a show called One Piece, but it started from a manga, which, like, it's kind of popular, I guess. Like, it's the third best-selling comic in the whole world. So, like, that's something. But
yeah, isn't it, like, up there with, like, Batman and Superman?
Yeah, it goes like Superman, which is a little thing most people like kind of heard of, and then Batman, which a couple people know about too, and then One Piece,
and then Spider-Man, super mainstream Spider-Man. Yeah. I saw this and I was super surprised because One Piece
everybody was.
Has like over 800 episodes. A lot of them are filler episodes. I don't know if you've ever known that. Like,
when you get to 800, I would hope that most of them are filler
because their mangas has been running for a long time, but there's still like a lot of anime. So my one question was like, how are you going to like water down the anime to fit in a season? How are you going to break the seasons up? Because there's no way they're going to make 800 episodes of a live action, anime. It's kind of like the Game of Thrones conundrum. Like, there's so many books, there's so much source material, and there's like, cool, we have a season that's 10 episodes, that's 10 hours. How do we melt down these books into 10 hours of something, and that's how things get lost, and that's how things get combined and new things get made. So I'm super curious how they plan on tackling this. I think special effects are there where they'll be able to make it look good. Because I hope so too. I hope they don't do like, okay, cool, we're gonna do practical effects here. Grab the rubber, we'll just pull on it.
Yeah. Well, because you and I, we had a little conversation about American superheroes versus like Japanese superheroes.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And how much different they are. Mm-hmm. So, One Piece has a lot of really original kinds of characters, main character having stretching abilities and whatnot, and really the only character that we've seen with stretching, or the only characters we've seen with stretching abilities have been animated. We've never seen like a live action one, right?
Mr. Fantastic in both the Fantastic.
Oh my god, never mind. I haven't seen those movies.
Oh, really?
I was thinking about it in my head like as a cartoon, and I forgot, holy shit, they made live action, and they all did terribly.
Oh, the newest one, I'll say the effects looked pretty good.
Really?
But the movie was horrible.
Yeah. That's
Fan Force Stick was such trash.
Oh, no.
So you and I were arguing about like, how did this come up, actually? We were talking about, how since Luffy or whatever, since One Piece is better than Spider-Man, I was like, well, realistically, like, I feel like a lot of anime characters, because of their powers being so absurd, would, in a fight, probably beat any Western, because Western comics or Western superheroes are pretty straightforward. They do this, they have their limits, they always get knocked down, they come back up. In anime, it's just like, they kind of like don't lose, and if they do lose, they come back with some amazing power out of nowhere, and this ex machina kind of bullshit, right? Where it's just like, boom, we're winning, and the only person that maybe holds a stick to that is Superman. But then I said, but then we argued, like
you were like, I don't know, because some Naruto shit, and I'm like, if he did go into like a shadow realm, he'd be fucked.
Yeah, like if there's no sun and he has no way to get like energy from the sun, then he can't. And I was like, if Itachi or any really high ranking ninja from Naruto does some sort of genjutsu, which is mostly, it's like, what's the word? Like illusions, and like, that does a bunch of mental stuff. I feel like they'd be able to trap him, and like, cause he's not like, he's physically invincible, but he still has a normal brain.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe they could trap him, and then he would just kind of be fucked. I mean, he wouldn't be dead, but he'd be like brain dead. And I was like, and that, in my opinion, is a win. So I feel like, anime characters kind of have the edge. Anyways, we're off topic. Cool. I mean, I don't know. We were saying we don't know who this is for. I think it's maybe for super fans. I don't think that a live action TV show is a good way to get people into One Piece.
Maybe, I'm gonna watch it. I've never seen One Piece before.
I would too. I would watch it.
I'm not gonna watch all of it unless I enjoy it, though.
Yeah,
because I've seen so many different kinds of iterations of superhero shows and movies and whatnot, and really like the best ones have been Daredevil and Jessica Jones, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I like TV shows.
I liked Jessica Jones a lot, and Daredevil.
Yeah.
I think the reason they're doing this, maybe they realize that a movie isn't enough, because how do you break 800 episodes into 3 hours?
Not do that as a movie.
So maybe they justify like breaking it down to maybe 10 episodes, 12 episodes, an hour long.
I'm sure that they have a lot of arcs to do. Yeah. So they're just going to do one arc and like kind of wrap it up in a way that's like, okay, well, we're done here. This is good. Like, thankfully, everything's fine now.
Yeah. So we'll see how it is, and we'll definitely review it whenever it comes out. Yeah. All right.
Excited about that. Next up, Keijo is a real sport now. Keijo, the boobs and butts game.
Where and how do I sign up?
Portugal, and I think you have to be a woman.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, like a naturally God-born woman, or like...
Listen, man, I'm not king of Portugal. I don't know anything.
I don't know the rules of Portugal. This is interesting. Is there any like videos of it yet, or?
So they actually have battle gear. So, instead of just wearing their skimpy ass bikinis and whatnot, or
summoning dragons through their butts. Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they have like padding for their boobs and butts and like legs, their upper thighs and.
Is there video out to watch it yet?
You know what? There's not video, but there are some pictures. So you could just look up Keijo Real Sport Portugal, I'm sure, and find it. They have a little platform, like a green life, kind of like a lifesaver type thing.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a big old round donut.
Yeah, like a raft or something that you would use.
They even got the logo. They got it.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if this might be a legal issue with Japan.
I don't know for sure.
They're like, hey.
But pretty cool, though, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's almost as cool as the fidget spinner game that I posted on the page.
Holy shit. Here we go, boys. Be fidgeting.
Oh, man. I don't know. I guess I'd watch that. If I was willing to watch the anime, I guess I'd kind of watch at least 5 minutes of it in real life.
I would have to know, like, what does it look like? How dumb does it look? Because it looks dumb. In the show, we have, like, Cerberus Butt Blast and Batak on Titan and stuff like that. But we don't have people being like legit.
What's the is it the chick that like hits them in the chin so hard their brains rattle and they pass out? That's what I really like. That's like, oh my god, it's so stupid.
Fucking great. It was such a funny show. So funny.
Okay, cool.
Next up, a new horror anime based off of Junji Ito's manga have been confirmed.
Cool.
So Junji Ito is a dude who makes notoriously kind of creepy comics, and people are pretty familiar, at least from what I've seen. The most popular one is a story about this mountain where these holes with people's shapes started forming, and you could see through and see a little tiny light dot at the very end, and it just like keeps going, and there are holes that people are drawn to. They just like want to find their hole. So people search for it, but other people think it's crazy, and then suddenly something happens in your head and you're like, I have to do this.
Yeah, go to the hole.
And people just keep going, and they keep like struggling through, and they make like their shape, but then it gets more and more narrow, and then they can't like breathe, and they start panicking, but they eventually come out the other side as these thin, squiggly, really long, kind of like stick person shapes.
That's disturbing. Yeah.
Very bizarre, very weird.
This guy's artwork is really out there, and I feel like that's probably what sells it. Because the idea is that isn't really scary.
No,
but the way it looks,
it's, I don't know, it's kind of an eerie concept of this building with that there's a hole up there in your shape. Yeah. And then when you're there, it like starts messing with your head.
And you have to go through it.
The whole idea of that is like, it sounds ridiculous, but if that was an actual thing, that'd be fucking crazy. Yeah. And you would kind of want to go up there and just see like, well, I don't know. People are.
There can't be a hole. Look at that hole.
Yeah. So
feels oddly familiar. Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Some real Steven Universe stuff right there. Some kindergarten stuff.
I've thought about that a lot with the kindergarten Steven Universe, but I'm very, very interested in seeing how this anime turns out.
Do you happen to know who's doing the production? Like if there's a studio attached to it yet?
Nope. Don't know much about it.
If you could pick, who would you want? I think Production IG probably did a good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Studio Wit does some like really kind of good looking things.
Yeah, A1 Pictures maybe too. They got some money.
No, Kyoto Animation. My money's
right.
Amazing, but like the most adorable. Yeah. Like it's horrifying.
Oh my god, that's my hole. Like they go into it.
I can imagine Lurch doing it. Lurch does a lot of weird things. They're the ones that did Magical Girl Raising Project.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they have like darker themes and whatnot.
As long as Handshaker doesn't touch it.
Please no. All
right.
So next up. This is for people that aren't us because we haven't seen the movie yet, but A Silent Voice, the soundtrack for that has been released on Spotify. So that's exciting since, the movie's about a girl who has a lot of trouble talking. She's too shy, and there's actually a lot of sign language in the movie. I don't know if you've seen a lot of clips, but I think that that's really intriguing. Anyways, she could sing, though. So I'm sure that the music's goddamn beautiful in this movie.
I'd hope so, yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. That's really cool.
Whenever we get to finally see this thing, it's going to be great.
It's coming out sometime. We've talked about the release date, but it's so far in the future that I'm not paying much attention until it comes out.
Cool. So, hey, that's the news. Really short, simple. That's the episode, too, right? We're done?
We're done.
Oh, JK, no. So check it. This is one of our long ones. We are doing our favorite episodes. Is this your favorite episode, or is what would be your favorite episode?
I really like these episodes, actually, yeah. Because we get a few weeks to work up to it.
Yeah.
And the wrap-up is always the hardest for me, because I put off a lot, and I'm like, no, what have I done?
Yeah, I think my favorite episodes would have to be the live-action garbage episodes. Those are always fun.
Those are fun, but it's like a different kind of...
This is a close second, I feel like. It's the Summer Anime 2017.
Summer Anime 2017.
So there's a few shows out there. Most of them have 1 or 2 episodes. There's a few that have a few more than that. But for the most part, this is just like based off a couple episodes. Yep. And there's a lot of shows to get through, so let's just start fucking doing it.
All right, so this is not in any particular order.
Okay.
But essentially, I took everything that I had watched, and then some of the things that you had watched, and then when you sent me the whole list, I added in everything that you had watched that I hadn't. Mm-hmm. Just in between one giant section. So there's going to be a little bit of you just talking about stuff.
For a big bit, okay.
Yeah, mostly because I meant to get to it, but... man.
That's fine. I'll just try to quickly just say what I think of the show and what it's about and whether you should watch it or not. Because some of them aren't worth it. I think we should. It's also worthwhile to say when it shows on strike, because there's a few who are on strike.
Yeah, definitely share where it is. I watched everything on Crunchyroll and on Amazon Strike.
Yeah, same here. There's exclusive stuff just on strike, which
that's true.
It's kind of a bitch because that's where Welcome to the Ballroom is. I really want to see it. My girlfriend was like watching a Kiss anime or whatever, and she's just like, the lag was so bad. She was just like, how it took her like an hour and a half to get through one episode. I was just like, yeah, just use this.
Why would you ever do that?
She really wanted to watch it,
but she could have just.
She really wanted to watch it.
All right, Sierra, whatever.
Anyways, let's go right into it.
Okay, so I think that we should go through it all, and then at the end do a summary. So if you guys don't want to listen to all of it and kind of learn what each show's about, we'll tell you at the end the shows that we enjoyed and why.
Yeah, well, yeah, there'll be just
like really quick summary at the very end. But this is, Summer 2017 anime preview. Let's get into it.
All of them. Let's do it.
Let's go. Made in Abyss.
Never seen it.
Whoa! No. Made in Abyss. I was really excited about this. It's made by Kinema Citrus, and I think that we have talked about one of their other shows. The name's kind of familiar, but I don't know why. Don't know what they did. This is based off of a web manga, and it's the only show that we watched this season based off of a web manga. Now, pretty much the only other show that I know that's based off of a web manga would be Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah.
Because at the time that One Punch Man came out, they already had a manga going for that. Not just a web manga, but like a legitimate one. Anyhow, Made in Abyss is a really interesting show to me. It's about this group of kids, namely a little girl, that are in a school for people that are trying to spelunking school, essentially. So there's a giant abyss in the middle of their town, village, city, kingdom. I don't really know what it is yet.
It's like a detached continent, and it's not that big. Maybe islands. I'd say it's a cluster of islands because they do make it a point that when they discovered it, it slowly gathered people to live around it. So
that's true.
It's not like it was just like one day there. It was just like, oh, cool, and now this giant town is around this giant hole.
Right. Yeah. Over time, people came there because down in the hole, there's a lot of riches. There's a lot of really interesting cultural stuff and gold, and
no one knows where they're from.
No,
what do they call them? Relics, right? They look for relics and stuff, and
so any kinds of strange things they don't understand about, they want to find and learn more about it. So essentially, they have all these kids that are learning how to spelunk, and anything that they're able to find, they have to bring back to the school so that it can be researched. And they do more studying and they figure more stuff out.
They also sell them; they get money for them.
And that's how everything's funded. And a lot of these, I think, all of the kids are actually orphans. Yeah,
this school, this boarding house school thing is also an orphanage. Most of them are like kids of other spelunkers who passed away,
or that are on very large spelunking missions.
Very long missions,
So, the kids don't really have a home to be in. And we see this main character really quickly start finding stuff, sees her friend get injured, and she's trying to help him out while a monster's trying to attack. She distracts the monster, The kid's fine. And as she's running away and she's almost about to die, giant laser shoots through because there's a little robot boy. Nobody knows where he came from or how he can exist. Nobody's seen anything like him. And this is where the show, on the second episode, kind of delve into a little bit more for me. I had read online that it's not a very lighthearted show, even though it feels like it is at first.
Because of the art style.
Yeah. Looks kind of cutesy. The kids, I mean, it is kids.
Yeah.
So clearly you don't think it's going to be really dark. But people say it gets super dark.
Yeah.
And you could see some more adult themes starting to pop up in the second episode where, we hear a little bit more about death and whatnot, but about the robot boy, this little girl is a scientist. She wants to learn. She wants to know everything. And since, he's a robot, he was shut down for a period of time and she was trying to do research with him and learn what is his skin made out of? How does he function?
How durable is he? Yeah.
Yeah. And in doing so, she had shoved a stick up his butt to see what the function of it was.
Yeah.
To see how far it goes, where it leads to. She's trying to learn in the kid way, but she's also trying to learn. She's not doing it to hurt him or
gross.
be gross.
Yeah, no. It's like it's like when it's said, it's said jokingly, but she she legitimately just wants to study this thing or whatever.
Yeah, and I thought that was so cool because she's telling this to the other kids, and that's what makes it funny because she's serious, but then the other kids are like, "Wait, what the fuck did you say?" But it's
or the robot guy's just like, "You stuck what up my what?"
Yeah, exactly.
And he has a penis. She's got a penis. Right. Yeah,
he has a penis, and she's like, "He has a penis. I don't know what the function of it is, but it's realistic too."
Yeah,
and the other kids are really embarrassed and whatnot. He's like, "Why are you doing that?" Or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's just like, "I don't understand it." And it was first brought up when she's like, "Why do you have a belly button?"
Yeah.
Because why the fuck does he have a belly button?
Yeah, he's this weird robot thing.
So, they tried to make them, for whatever reason, in the image of man in some way or another. And it is really weird to think of, why would he have a butthole?
Yeah.
And what is the function of that?
We actually don't know if he eats or pees or anything yet.
We don't know anything about it, but that was the point where it got to be like, oh, this is a little bit different. Yeah. They just straight up said, he has a penis, it's fleshy, it's like a real human penis. And I'm like, oh.
Even though the show looks PG, it's definitely more mature than what it looks like.
And it gets darker, I guess.
I mean, I really like the second episode. I like the first episode, had me hooked, wanted to know more.
Exactly.
But the second episode definitely gave you more because we learn about what it's like to be in the abyss. And we actually learn that the girl, she's aspiring to be a white whistle or whatever. And these whistles are how they distinguish. Distinguish how much of a spelunker on how low you can go. And her mom was a white whistle.
It's
and
the opposite of a black belt.
Yeah. Was one of the best spelunkers ever. And he was telling the story of what happens when you go too low and how you can get, sickness and stuff. So it's super dark because people die there all the time. You know what I really like too, which really got me? So this guy, this little robot dude is from the abyss. So made in the abyss, which makes sense. But it's also kind of has another meaning because the girl was actually born in the abyss. Yeah. Which we learned there. So her mom was pregnant when she went down for the trip. And while being down there, she had her. So she was technically made in the abyss also. Yeah. And then when they brought her back up, she had a residual effect of abyss eyes or whatever. So her eyes are super if she doesn't have her glasses on, she gets headaches and they hurt and stuff. So super dark show.
It's got a really intriguing story.
Yeah.
Overall, this is one of my favorite shows of the season.
Oh yeah, highlight so far. And actually real quick, when we're talking about, you saying what other
webcomic?
What other animes Cinema Citrus does?
Yeah.
So the one I've seen is Scorching Ping Pong Girls.
Cinema Citrus, yeah.
Which has the same look to it.
It does.
And then a newer show that's hasn't come out yet is that Rising Shield of Hero.
Oh shit, that's by
those are the guys.
Wow,
too.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So overall, this studio has different things. This show is way more interesting than I thought it could be. Oh yeah, people were talking about it pretty highly, but it still looked really cutesy, and I was like, I don't know, we'll see. They did a good job.
Yeah, this is a new studio to be on my radar. They're on my radar. They've only been around since 2008, so it's less than 10 years. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep my eye out for stuff. But honestly, really like Made in Abyss, and I can't wait to keep watching it.
Excited about that. Next up, another show on Amazon Strike. We've got Princess Principal, which is made by a couple of studios. It's made by Actaz. I don't know what they've done. Never talked about them before. And Studio 3 Hertz. And this is an original story. From Studio 3 Hertz, they've made Flip Flappers, and they have another show called Dimension W, I think is the name of it. And they've got their own original stories. They go off and do such unique different things. this, we've talked about Princess Principal a little bit. I got to see the premiere at Anime Expo, and I really enjoyed it. And as of now, there are 2 episodes out. Maybe there are 3 of today. I don't know.
Oh, there's 3.
There are 3? Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. Anyways, at Anime Expo, I didn't get to see the intro or outro. They didn't have those on there yet. Not too big on them, but, like, they're okay.
I've decided I don't like the outro at all. Like, I really hate the style of the song.
Yeah.
But I really like the intro for the first one. Like, the intro, because of the song, it has a really, like, old vibe to it. Kind of reminds me of, like, 91 Days.
Yeah. That's... it's a spy show.
Yeah.
So 91 Days had a lot of that feeling, and Joker Game kind of did too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what. So yeah,
and they did a really good job. Like, everything has this noir feel, but this feels like really fresh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I agree. They're not great, but I do like the intro a lot more than the outro.
Yeah. It's kind of like the opposite for me. For Flip Flappers, I love the outro of Flip Flappers. It was so much different than anything that I had seen, and it had this really cool storybook thing, and the song was kind of eerie, but like also really sweet, and I liked that. But the intro was forgettable. Honestly, I can't think of it right now. And meanwhile, this is kind of the opposite, where the outro is lame and the intro is better. Anyways, really like the show. The aesthetic is steampunk, so a lot of people don't like steampunk. I don't care one way or another, but it does have that vibe. It's got this really dark spies in London feel, except our spies are these cute anime girls, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is, you take it for what it is, and they do a great job with who these characters are. I think that them being these cute anime girls really leads to it being a more interesting story.
Right.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, because it's based in this steampunky world, but also we're in Europe, which is great. We're not in Japan. It's not, it's not this made up world. It's this European stuff, and there's wars going on, and I'm super surprised at how in depth the actual spy is in it.
Such a good job.
Because I remember seeing the stuff as God, this looks ridiculous, But then you were like, oh, this is kind of serious.
This is a really serious show.
After the first one, honestly, I was willing to give it another chance, but I didn't really like it. But after watching the second episode, which was a more what's the word? The story, it was a bit slower. The story that was being told was in one place, and it was a lot smaller, and we got to get a better insight on 3 of the characters, 3 specific characters, and I really liked it. I really liked the fact that it makes sense as to why they have this princess being a spy, and I like the fact that the princess isn't good inherently. She she says something I don't know if it was a bluff, but she says something about how she's willing to help the spy, whoever the spy organization is, if they're willing to make her the queen. And they're like you're the 4th in line. There's 3 queens, there's 3 princesses in front of you. And he's just yeah, I know, but you guys can make sure they're not there anymore. And I was like, oh, okay, ooh,
pretty dark,
pretty interesting,
pretty cool. But yeah, that was an interesting thing to me, is that the second episode had a little bit more focus on different characters, and I don't know if you noticed the names of the episodes, but they're cases.
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah.
So the first episode is case 13 or something like that. So it's not like a Haruhi thing where it's all fucked up, but I think that they were showing us case 13 to show shit gets crazy. A lot of people are involved in it. There's something really big and established. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
And it has all this stuff set up. But now we're at case, I think this was case 0?
Yeah, because it's when they first met and how, because it's a flashback, essentially.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't really know. The first episode might have been a flash forward.
Okay, what it is essentially it's it's the beginning. If it's a linear thing, it's in the beginning.
Beginning of the story.
What I liked about the second episode, which was, I liked how they were able to tell us who they were and what their deal is and how down these spies are to be spies.
Yeah.
Something that did surprise me though is at the end of that episode there's oh my god, it was essentially one girl reminiscing about that first time they met, and she was the reason the princess found out she was a spy is because she gave her a note saying hey, I'm a spy.
Yeah, oh, okay.
And no one knows except for them
that was
two.
Fucking
genius. Which is so good, right?
Ah.
What's surprising is she's it's been 10 years since then. I was it's been 10 years? You guys haven't changed a fucking bit.
No, it was okay. They were friends when they were really little.
Okay.
They were friends when they were well, the one of them still had parents, I think, and she became an orphan, and she got taken in by the spy people.
Okay,
yeah. And it had been 10 years since they've seen each other, and then she's like, "This is who I am now.
Yeah,
we're friends, and I still love you and miss you." Yeah. And that's essentially what it was.
I really like how that character, and that's the same girl that shot the other dude in the first movie, right? The girl with the glasses, or is that a different girl? The girl that said, I'm not going to shoot you in episode 1.
You know what? I can't remember. I think it might have been a different girl.
Because I really like the second spy a lot, especially when she like comes in and introduces herself to the class. She's like, she's like super meek.
Yeah, like
but
really
instantly
shy.
she turns it off. She's like, yeah, I'm just fucking acting because I'm a spy and this is my fucking job. Yeah. Honestly, great show so far. Like I said, first episode didn't hook me, and I'm not the hugest fan of steampunk, but I'm not going to let that deter me of not liking the show at all. So I'm going to keep watching it and see where it goes. One
small detail that I want to point out that I thought was really great. The note that she hands over was written in like really, really nice cursive English. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me coming from Japan.
Yeah.
Like,
they could have just made it Japanese.
Yeah, they could have made it Japanese, but not only that, they could have had it like printed English. They had it cursive, which I feel like is so much more difficult to learn. Like, it takes people a lot longer to learn cursive English because it all looks fucked up and it's mushed together. But they did a really good job.
Yeah, no, Studio 3 Hertz definitely, like, they go above and beyond. They're new, but they're definitely, like, everything they're producing is really high quality.
Such good detail. So that's probably my anime of the season right now, other than My Hero, continuation. Those are the shows that I'm going to gush about. That's it. Okay, pretty much. Just getting that out of the way. There are other shows that I watched this season that I'm also interested in.
Yeah,
so,
I'll gush
next
later.
up, Gamers, made by Pine Jam. I remember that they've done something before because we joked about the name Pine Jam before. I don't remember what they did, but whatever.
Yeah.
And this is based off of a light novel. Now, our main character friend... He's just a guy who likes video games. He's in the store, he's looking at video games. Some girl that he knows starts talking about, like, oh, hey, you're looking at video games. And, like, yeah, I was reading the back of this box. He's like, oh my god, she reads the back of boxes. Isn't that great? And they talk about that for a while. And eventually she's like, yo, come to the video game club. You gonna play video games, son? And he gets there, and he's kind of seeing everybody, and he's like, wow, these people really like video games. There's so much stuff. How does the school allow this? And they're like, yeah, we win this through competitions. We're fucking gamers, boy. And then they play some games for a while, and he's getting really tired because, he likes video games, but he's not like...
a competitive gamer.
Yeah, he doesn't get it, He's not like us, you and me,
Normal people.
Yeah.
Humans? Americans.
Gamers.
Right, gamers. We're gamers.
Yeah. Normal people, humans, Americans.
We're gamers. Yeah, to continue, he declines, which is super out there because they definitely trick you because essentially you think this is like every other anime where like the main character joins a club and he makes friends and blah blah blah, and he sets that up where he's like, look at all these people and they all have like great backstories. Like one guy forgot all his memories and the other girl did this and the guy did that, and then he's just like, this is amazing, I can't wait to have friends. And he goes, no, I don't want to be a part of your club. And the main character, who's just like the main girl, who is like the idol girl of like the entire school, everybody loves her, is like super kind of confused and confronts him later, and she's like, listen, like, I like games, but I like different types of games, and I would like to play the games the way I do, kind of casually, and so good luck with your club. And it just like destroys her.
Well, my favorite thing about that whole interaction too was like, hey, so how did you get into gaming? And he's like, what the fuck? Okay, well, I started playing it and I had a lot of fun, so I kept playing games that I had fun with.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, what a weird question. Okay. And she's like, hey, other new person, how did you get into video games? They're like, you know what? Like, pretty similar. I just started playing games and I had fun.
And he's just
when I woke up and I had no memories, and she's like,
no. He's just like, he was like, oh, thank God, like in his head, like, thank God that he had a simple answer like me. He goes like, after I had my accident, I lost all my memories. Block puzzle games were the only thing I was really great at. It's like, and it's just like, so it's super out there. Man. So point is, you hit me up saying like you don't know how you feel about the show because you were like, you kind of want to like it. It looks good.
I really do want to like it.
And like, you have a feeling that it's going to go toward this harem way because at the end of every episode,
something like that. Yeah. It's just something feels off. I feel like it's going to go a direction that I'm not going to have fun with anymore, which is going to be a huge bummer. So I'd rather save the time and like not watch it than get really disappointed later on. However, I only watched the first episode. Yeah, okay. You watched the second.
Oh, yeah, I watched the second one. And remember that guy from the first episode that was, like, watching him? He's, like, in the intros thing. He has, like, brown hair, and he's kind of a cool dude.
Yeah. He plays fighters.
Yeah, so he, the episode starts off with him, because we're just right back in the classroom, and he gets to see him reject this girl. And he was a nerd, and he has his girlfriend now, blah, blah, blah. And he runs into this guy at the...
That's right. He was walking by with his girlfriend. He's like, I'm the fucking greatest.
Yeah. absolutely. So he runs into the
that
nerd
was
guy.
the thing that I think gave me a weird vibe.
No, he was just like him. He was like a super nerd in middle school, and then got to high school and became super hot. And he changed, but he also really likes gaming, and so he spends some time with this guy in the arcade, and they get along and they have fun. And he has a really like heart to heart with the main character, like on a highway overpass, you know. And he says something about like him not being a real gamer, and the gamer kid loses his shit, grabs him, and like leans him over the rails. It's like, say it, don't you dare say that to me. So like it's the thing about the show is that I really like is like it has like the tropes set up for like these anime things, and then it just changes it a little bit. Like
that's what I was enjoying about the first episode a lot.
So watch the second episode. Honestly,
I'm gonna keep watching
check the second episode because I felt the same way. It does at the very end of every episode has like a really provocative picture of any main character girl in like scantily clad clothes and doing some sort of video game thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the kind of shit that I got from Keijo, and I'm like, I mean, that's not what I'm looking for, but like, I get it. Yeah. Like, whatever. It's kind of in the context of the show. So that's what bothered me about this.
I'd keep going because I like it. I don't think it's going to be a harem. I think there's going to be romantic elements, but I don't think it's going to be a classic harem. I really like the intro to this show. It's like really throwback to games. You see a bunch of different type of games from Mario to like Tetris to like Street Fighter. It's great. I enjoy the show. I'm gonna keep watching it.
I feel you. Next up, My First Girlfriend is a Gal.
Oh, okay. So the best show of the year, right?
Yep. It's made by Naz, and it's based off of a manga.
Did you get around to this one?
Hell yeah, I did. No, dude, this is my shit.
1 or 2 episodes?
Only 1 episode.
2, dog.
You asked? What the fuck?
This was like the where I had to. You and I were talking about how I went and watched them all, and then I went back and watched shows that had more episodes. Yeah. And the ones that I watched were shows that I either thought, maybe this is good, I'm kind of interested, or I know this is trash, and it's going to make sure it's trash. So that falls under that category.
First shot of the show, we get a panty shot, and she's like friggin' soaked.
And it's a set.
That is the first shot.
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly try to describe this show. It's about a guy who's in high school and he's a super loser, and he hangs out with his 3 buddies and they're all super losers. They're all virgins,
but they're like creepy.
Yeah, they're creepy loser virgins, and they just happen to like to complain about how everybody around them is having sex because everybody else seems to be coupled up and super gorgeous.
It's like, why would everybody be having sex? That's not a fucking high school thing.
Yeah, it's super. It's just like it's really heavy-handed that everyone's fucking and they're not. And then you quickly get the sense that these guys are perverts because all they do is talk about boobs and girls and porn. And like one guy, the fat guy, has a real fetish for girls that look young.
That got like really
super
creepy,
awkward,
real fast.
Right? And there's a girl. So they're reading dirty magazines in class to make everybody else feel uncomfortable, and the main character goes along with it, drops it, and then this super babe comes up and she's like, "You're a pervert" or whatever, and it's like, "Oh my god, I'm ruined." And then they super convoluted way where his friends trick the girl into coming over so he can confess to her, and they end up being boyfriend and girlfriend by the end of the first episode. That's like honestly, that's all that happens in the first episode. But in between all of this time, there's just a bunch of dream sequences where he's having super dirty thoughts of her like rubbing him or licking him or literally like being naked. And everything's being censored like with like either stars, pink stars, or like the hands will come up and like or like a or what's it called, a bumper just kind of comes up and like the bottom 3/4 of the screen is covered. So what super surprised me in this show was it's like smut. Yeah. And it's not warned as smut. I don't know what the rules are for Crunchyroll because on most like Hulu or like other TV places they'll say like
TVMA.
TVMA, and this deserves to be TVMA even with 100%. Even with the censorship, you know, like without the censorship for sure. With it still needs to be there. I'm just kind of curious.
Okay, so I don't know for sure if this is how your Crunchyroll account works, but it does have a certain like 17 plus set.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure mine's off. But
yeah, I turned mine off, so I don't know if we would have access to this normally, but it does make sure that you have to have that. It automatically sets it up so it's turned on, and you have to manually turn it off. Right. I turned it off because I was trying to watch the Monogatari series.
And it's, because it's that super dirty toothbrush scene. Point is, you'd still think that when the show starts up, even if it was airing in Japan, it'd be like, hey guys, I don't know what time this airs in Japan or whatever, but you think it'd be something like, hey guys, up next is my first girlfriend's a gal, rated, TV, whatever, you know? But it's not.
Well, I'm sure that's what they do in Japan, but
not here.
For the streaming service, I think that it's put behind a block. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so first episode goes like that. Second episode, they go to karaoke, and a lot of more dream sequences. He tries to kiss her, and she like backs away, and we see a shot where she's I have to go to the bathroom, and she goes to the bathroom, and she's like, oh my god, he's trying to kiss me, and it's super heavily implied that even though she's a super hot babe or a gal or whatever they use, that's the word they're using.
Whatever.
She's not like kind of like easy, you know, so she kind of still wants to be romanticized or whatever, fall in love with somebody. So I don't know. It show's not for me. I don't know who it's for, but if you're out there and you enjoy this, it's great. I just
it's smut and it's got a story, and the voice acting is actually like really good.
Yeah,
the animation is not that great.
Yeah,
the whole like first episode, I think about half of it took place in the exact same place.
It's right outside
the school.
It's a lot of talking heads, which is like, you know, a bunch of dialogue. Yeah. And there's one girl here that has the most ridiculous boobs in the world ever. Like, physically, she'd be dead. Like, her spine would break in half.
Yeah.
Not
She's
for me.
Tiny.
Not going to be watching this.
No.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, next up, 18 If. It's a show made by Gonzo, and it's based off of a game. Now, I watched this episode last night. Okay. It's very weird. It's got this really unique kind of like color style. It reminds me a little bit of No Game, No Life. Okay. In some way or another. It uses a lot of pastels and unique colors. Essentially, this person, our main character friend, gets trapped in a game dream thing.
Okay, keep going. I want to see what you're saying.
So we have like a god of the game or whatever who's making the guy do these weird things, and he's like, I have no control over it, and then he meets a weird cat person.
You're doing great, by the way.
And long story short, I don't fucking get it.
Okay, so here it goes. I'll help you out. So it's about a guy, and it's not a game; it's a dream world.
Yeah.
So there's the real world, dream world, and
but it's essentially like a game, though. Like
I mean, it's not really specified yet. I don't think the guy's in the real world. Like, whoever this kid is, he's in the dream world, and he meets up with this cat guy or whatever, who is actually a scientist in the real world. And what they're doing is trying to discover how to cure sleeping beauty syndrome, which is like this disease that girls get, and they just go to sleep, you know?
Yeah.
And there's no medical reason as to why. So the thing that discovered is these girls have suffered some sort of trauma, and they are dreaming these dreams, and then the dream world, they're called witches, and they're, depending on what their dream is, they do eccentric things, blah blah, and the guy's job is to go in there to kill the witch, and then she'll wake up in real life.
Yeah.
And that's the first episode. The first episode
video game
had this real what's it called?
Video game?
No, had this real like Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe to it.
Sure.
And I fucking hated it. I hated the voice acting. I mean,
I really didn't like the first episode.
I thought it was super fucking ugly. It was so convoluted. The cat thing, it was just disgusting. I remember telling you, like, it was like painful to watch. The only thing I really liked was the intro song for some reason. It was like,
the intro was pretty good.
Like, the song was super, like, go through the red door. I was like, yeah, go through that red door. All right. So this was one of the shows where I wanted to make sure if the second episode was garbage, because there's 3 episodes out. It's like, sure, I'll watch the second episode, see what it is. And I didn't want to read it, so I went to Funimation, and they're simul-dubbing this. So I was like, okay, I'll listen to the dub.
Oh yeah, these last 3 have all been on Crunchyroll, by the way.
Yeah. So this one's being simul-dubbed also on Funimation. So is My Girlfriend's a Gal. That's going to be simul-dubbed too. And I liked the second episode. Honestly, the dub made it so much easier to watch. In the second episode, things get super fucking dark. Where the next girl that's has this sleeping beauty syndrome, she suffered, she survived through seeing her entire family be slaughtered, like legit murdered in the worst way possible. And so in her dream, she's killing these 3 guys that killed her family in like the most horrendous way, and we're seeing it, like we get to see it. And the kid goes in there to the doctor sends him in there to stop her and protect these guys.
Yeah.
And on his other side, he wants to make sure no one gets murdered. He doesn't justify what they did, but he also doesn't want him to die. So he's trying to figure out how to save this. And I was super surprised. I felt like it was going to be one of those episodes where the main character is going to go in and be like, hey man, don't do it, they're not worth it, you're better than this, blah blah blah. No, the main character's just like, you know what? Yeah, kill them. Fucking do it. They're garbage. Yeah. And this girl just kills them, and he's just like, good. He's like, you did the thing, and now you're over this, and now you can wake up. I was like, super dark. I don't know how I feel about the show. I might have to. Keep watching.
How does the art look?
Still like shit. Episode? Still looks like garbage. Yeah,
it was real bad.
Yeah,
I just did not like it.
No,
it looked like like a heartless online animation, I guess.
It looked it was like a really shitty, what's the word? Summer Wars, you know? Like a super shitty Summer Wars. But like I'm saying, like after watching it dubbed, and the voice actor was really good, and seeing the story isn't this cutesy bullshit where all they gotta do is kill a witch in every episode, I didn't mind it. I might check out the third one. I might just only do it dubbed. But it's not a good show by any means or whatever, and it still looks like garbage. So yeah, this was one of the ones where like super confused. I was like, I don't know. Yeah,
I didn't really know what to think of it. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I understand.
I'm like, I don't know, man. They keep going through all these doors, but they don't have control, and there's like a ruler witch lady, and
next up.
Cool. So let's talk about Dive, made by Zero G. Don't know what they've done. It's based off of a novel. This is a show you can watch on Amazon Strike. I watched 2 minutes.
I watched one episode.
You watched the full episode?
Garbage.
I understood what it was about.
Yeah.
Now, it's about these boys that are all on a swim team. Mm-hmm. And they're very sexy.
They're a
diving team. Swim diving. I mean, they go into a pool in
and
one
wear
way or
skimpy
another.
underwears, yeah.
Essentially, we got a bunch of sexy boys being sexy.
Yeah.
That's what I understood the show to be.
Bro,
that's it.
At the end of the first episode, guess what gets included? A sexy girl. What? New coach? Girl. Sexy.
Oh, shit.
Boom.
Oh, man.
Game changer. You were wrong about this show.
I guess I was wrong. Time to go kill myself.
This show's pretty bad. It's just kind of a sports anime about like what it is to be a competitive diver.
Yeah.
And the main character is kind of honestly not really likable. Like he's like super obsessed with this one kid who's a really good diver, and he kind of neglects other people or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I don't think I'd watch this. It reminds me of like a shitty version of like those free swim.
Yeah.
Animes. Like someone saw.
That's kind of the way I felt about it.
They're like, oh, this thing made money. Let's just make our own, and that's it. I don't know. It's not that good.
It wasn't for me. I don't have anything to say about it. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a sports anime where the guys are super sexy. Mm-hmm. The end.
Done. Yeah.
Cool. Next up, A Centaur's Life. Okay, so this is a show about these super sexy girls, and they're all on a track team, and that's okay. So A Centaur's Life is made by Haoliners Animation League. I think they're the China-Japan team-up team.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is based off of a manga. Essentially, this is our cutesy anime of the season.
Yeah.
From what I understand. You could watch it on Crunchyroll. It starts out and Centaur Girl is kissing the Demon Girl, and you're like,
ooh,
oh, hello. So one thing that I really liked about this show, the animation's fine. I like it. It looks good.
Yeah.
But we got to see a little bit of the history of it, because they are students. These are all students, and the whole kiss thing was a line in the play that was handwritten in. That's the joke. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
They also both happen to be girls, and so there's like that taboo. And one of them likes it, the other one doesn't want to admit it.
So, anyways, we get to learn a little bit of the history of this, and they're like, okay, so check it out. Evolution. Like, what if amphibians wound up like being the ones that were actually people
and not humans? Yeah.
Turns out that we're all humans, though. So check this out. Humans split up into these different subcategories.
Four subcategories.
We got some goat people. We got the angel people. We got centaurs. We got mermaids. And there used to be one more, but they died off. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah, so mermaids, and I think like centaurs and what's it called? Like the goat people are kind of combined.
Because centaurs are on their own.
Well, isn't there cat people?
If there are cat people, they would be with like the goat people.
Okay, and then cat people. There's like people that have wings.
Yeah, those are like angel people. I don't remember what they were called.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's kind of cool seeing these different categories and how they break it up. And like, we don't get to see any like mermaids because we all live on land and they live in the water. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then they went into the history a little bit, and they're like, centaurs used to be revered as great warriors. And they were also slaves in some areas. So while here, they were these amazing warriors that were well respected and like unmatched by anybody. In some areas, they were slaves and they were ridden around as horses, and that's it. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. But then it's just a cute girls show, and they're all like running for their PE class, and they have like a long ass conversation essentially about nothing at all.
About how good one of the people is running and the person can't run that good, and why, and oh my god. And
it wasn't any jokes, it wasn't any plot, it wasn't any character development. It was essentially just like talking, and we get to see these cute girls interacting. That's it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Interviews with Monster Girl. girls, but
completely.
But they're older and sexier
and less plot and character development.
Absolutely, and everything is clips. There's little chunks of everything, like there's a plate chunk, and then there's the chunk of like the PE chunk or whatever. Yeah. And one thing I really, really don't like is the angel people. They have some of them have halos, and the halo is their hair. There's a wire. It looks like a wire, and then like a ring of fur, and that's from far away. It looks like a perfect, but you get closer, and it's like. It's a hairy thing. I think it's so fucking gross. It's like makes you uncomfortable. Seeing it.
I don't like it.
I don't like the show. I don't think I'll keep watching it.
I totally understand it. I get that some people want to watch this. It's an easy show to watch.
Yeah,
not a whole lot goes on. You just put it on, and just relax. It's not for me.
We were at Little Tokyo. We were going through some manga, and we like found like, hey, look, it's this Centaur life or whatever, and like there's just like. The horse chick is like this super provocative pose, like, oh,
holy shit.
I was just like, I guess we're going to have to watch this one.
Yeah. Honestly, the first episode didn't have like too much sexy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Which is, it started out with the kiss, and I was like, but then it didn't have anything else go on, and I'm very curious at what point it gets to be like too sexy.
Don't worry about it, dog. If you're looking for sexy, we've got sexy.
My girlfriend is
We've got sexy this season.
Yeah, we have another one coming up in a couple of minutes. Anyways, let's talk about Chronos Ruler by Project Number 9. It's based off of a manga. I wanted to see the show, but I didn't actually get to watch it.
I watched 2 episodes of this. I thought it was one of those 12-minute episodes. I thought it was like one of those shorter animes. Yeah. It's not. It's 24 minutes long or 22 minutes long. It's really hard to explain what the premise is, but I think it's a world where there's these monsters that kind of live off of stealing people's time. And then there's these people who fight these monsters with special weapons and these little like orbs that are like used to speed up time, slow down time, and have special effects and special attacks and stuff. And I didn't like this show. Like the first episode was about mostly a main like a girl character in the school, and how she lost her family, blah blah blah. At the very end, we see these monsters attack, and this guy stop it. In the second episode, we're in a completely different place. It's the same guy from the first one with like a sword and this white haired dude, and apparently they're father and son, which they don't look like they are, and it's implied that the guy got bit by one of these monsters and it's stealing his time, and now he's looking for his time back or something. Honestly, I can't explain it because I don't think it's kind of convoluted.
Anything that has to do with time gets really complicated really fast.
Yeah. So, I don't like this. I don't think it's worth watching, but apparently people are liking it. You're saying
people are really enjoying it, and I wanted to check it out because it sounds really interesting.
You can. They do a thing where they mix 3D and 2D animation and stuff, and I don't think it's to good effect.
Okay.
I don't like the show. I'm not going to recommend it to anybody.
All right, cool. I might still check it out because the plot sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it doesn't look good, if the plot's not that interesting in the end, if it's all just bullshit, I might not like it.
Let me know what you think. I'm curious to see what your opinion is on it after you check it out.
I'm pretty curious about it too. Now, this is a show that I didn't watch. It's called Netsuzuo Trap, made by creators in Pack. It's based off of a manga.
Okay.
Now, this is a little show that I know a thing or two about, thanks to my boy over here, Juan.
Yeah. So the way I watch things for this like specific show is just I go through the list and I put everything on my queue. Yeah. And then I just play them like one after the other, and I don't read the summaries. So I don't want to. I just want to because I want to get through it. So I'm watching. It's anime night. Me and Sarah are watching it, and they're like, "This is the next one on my queue." We play it, and man, I fucking in for a surprise. I thought that my first girlfriend's a gal would be like the extent of the naughtiness we've seen this season, but no. So the show starts off with this is a short one too. These are probably 12 minutes long. It's or maybe even less than that. But it's about the episode starts off with a couple, two couples in there at karaoke, and then the guys are singing, and one girl kind of reaches over and like puts her hand on the friend's thigh. She's like, "What are you doing?" And she's just like, "Oh, I'm just teasing you. Ha ha ha. Let's go to the bathroom." And then they go to the bathroom, and then she like forces the girl in the toilet, and then she's just like, "Okay, I'm gonna kiss you now," and they start making out, and then she starts touching her in inappropriate places, And it's just like, I'm just getting you ready for your boyfriend. Because apparently these girls have been best friends forever. And the one girl that is being essentially molested, this is her first time having a boyfriend, so the other girl's doing her a solid and helping her out, so she's ready to...
Classic best friend move right there.
Getting ready, preparing her to serve as her man or whatever.
Can't tell you how many times I've forced my roommate down and just...
Your girlfriend wants this. Yeah, no, and so there's that. They go home, and the girl kisses her boyfriend for the first time. She gets home. Guess what? Guess who's her neighbor? Her best friend or whatever. And they're on the balcony, and then it's just like, hey, so me and him shared a kiss. Like, oh, it's great. He's like, yeah. And then she kind of gets jealous, and then she forces another kiss upon her, and this time, like, super provocative, and like gives her tongue, and she's like, yeah, well, now you can now you'll have your first French kiss or whatever. And it's just like, I was super shocked at what I was watching. And then I go back to read the introduction. It's just like, and the summary is just like, so-and-so are best friends, and one of the friends is helping the other friend and doing things, and how does she cope with the way she feels tingly and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, this is super fucking smut. Watch the second episode, because I need to make sure it's total trash. Same dealie. The girl forces herself on her friend. They go up on a carousel ride or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And like pods, like, in Japan,
there you go.
They do it right in pods.
You got your private little zone.
So the girl that's like forcing herself on her friend is up there with her current boyfriend, and her boyfriend just kind of like aggressively like, all right, let's fucking do sex stuff. And she's like, I don't want to right now. And then she like grabs her, is like, you know what, this is all you're good for, or some shit like that. And it's just like, whoa, it's just
Christ.
Yeah, it's like super dark. And then it's like they get down from the carousel, and like her other friend's like, hey, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. Let's go on a ride, just you and me. So they go up on the ride, and then the other friend now forces herself on her other friend, and
same deal.
Yeah, but not as aggressive, more sexy. It's a weird show, man. It's not for me.
But it's relatable. We've all been there.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the shows that would warrant a rated TV something.
TV in a 17.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad, by any means. It's animated pretty fine. The voice acting is fine. It's just the context of what's going on, especially... I mean, you should never force yourself on anybody, friend or not, and it kind of gives off this weird message, like, I get it, they're girls and it's sexy because, like, it's kind of forbidden, it's a taboo thing or whatever, but the fact that the girl says, no, I don't want you to do that, and then she does anyways, it kind of sends this message where it's like, it's okay to do that if it's sexy, and it's not. So, I don't know. I don't really like this show. I don't think anybody should watch it. If you do like this kind of stuff, I mean, good for you, I guess. Have a great time. It's fucked up.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're using it to, like, get off to.
Yeah.
But it's not a show that you should be like, yeah, this is how the real world is.
This is a sad thing, though. This is not how the real world is, and don't you ever, for 1 second, try to trick yourself into thinking that this is how the real world should be.
All right, now that we're talking about the real world, let's talk about Saiyuki Reload Blast, made by Platinum Vision. It's based off of a manga, and you could watch these shows on Crunchyroll.
Realest show out there. Have you seen this one? This is one you wanted to see.
I want to see it pretty bad because the name is just fucking wild.
Absurd, yeah.
The title card for it just looks nuts, too.
So this is about a world, and I can't really tell you what the world is, but it's some sort of world where kind of demons exist, and so there's like these half demons, and they just kind of have pointy ears and like pointy teeth, and they kind of attack other humans and stuff, and then the heroes show up, and it's a group of 4 people. One of them is a gunslinger, another one has like a giant bow staff.
Oh, you got me hooked.
One guy has a sword, and
here we go,
and a dragon, like a little flying baby dragon, small dragon. It turns into a jeep.
All right, here we go.
Can't even lie. That's what happens.
I fucking knew you were hiding something.
No, and then I was saving that. I was supposed to say that for later. But and then the last one is this other guy who I don't know what he does. He just punches stuff. But I can't remember what his weapon.
You got Magic Man. You got Superboy. You got this guy over here, and you have Punch Boy.
He might have like a ring that's sharp or something. Point is, it's a group of these 4 guys, and they kind of stop these bandits, and they get taken back to the small village, and they're given food and shelter, and they're learning that we're learning about this world where these half demon things kind of attack people, and there's this girl who's crazy and blah blah blah. And once they're all cleaned up and people see who they are, they're like, oh my god, you're the legendary the 4 guys. Or you're
the Sayuki Aki Blast Boy. Reload it.
Yeah, and it took me a while to piece it together, but essentially what it is like the main guy, like the leader, is like supposed to be this priest. And then there's this other guy at the bow staff. He's supposed to be kind of like an embodiment of like the Monkey King, you know, from like Chinese lore, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and there's another guy he's a water spirit or something like that.
Okay.
And there's one more guy who got with the dragon. I don't know what he is exactly, but his little dragon that kind of lies on his shoulder and flies around also turns into their chariot, but their chariot happens to be a military jeep.
As dragons do, yes.
There's a scene where they have to catch up to somebody, like these monsters, before they get out and tell the monsters where the village is. And they're like, there's a shot where you see the dragon, and then he says the dragon's name, and then like the next scene is a cut, and it's just there's this jeep there, and it's like I kind of stopped. It's like, well, is this? Am I being led to imply that this dragon turned into this jeep? And it's just like. There's no context. The dragon's gone, but the jeep's there. It's super. Honestly, it was super fun. I had a really good time with the show.
There are shows that do a lot of bullshit and they like take themselves pretty seriously, and I don't really like that all the time. Sometimes it's like, holy fuck, this is ridiculous, and it's so funny that they're taking themselves seriously because they're also trying to make it fun. There are other times where it is too serious, and it's also fun when they're just having a fun time and you want to have fun too.
Yeah, this show's super anime where like they got some of them have super anime hair, really out there, you know, clothes or whatever, and they're just kind of fighting stuff. And I know nothing about the world, nothing about the lore yet, but I for some reason kind of enjoyed it. It reminds me of like those animes, like old good anime, kind of like like a Trigun vibes to it, sort of, where it's just like they're kind of there and they're like, okay, cool, let's just take care of stuff. This is kind of what we do or whatever. Yeah. I liked it. I'm going to keep watching this. I don't know if I'm going to like it in the future, but it's super fun, I feel like, and it looks okay, I feel like. I can't remember if it looks too great or not, but they killed stuff with bullets and the dragon turned into a jeep. Like, what more can I ask for? So yeah, I'd check it out. Tell me what you think about it.
I'm down. Next up, Knights and Magic. Now, this is made by 8-Bit, and it's based off of a light novel. You can find it on Crunchyroll.
Did you watch this one?
I did not.
Okay, all right, cool. So this one, Steer told me about it. She said you should check it out. You'd like it.
Me.
She told me I'd like it. Cool. So it starts off with the guy who's a programmer, and he's like programming stuff, and he's like super good at programming.
You fucking love that. All right.
Oh my god, yeah. So and then they're like, okay, cool, and he's just like, all right, later, guys. We did the programming thing. I'm done with work. I'm gonna go to the hobby shop and buy these like the build your own mech things because he's a super fan of those. Dude, he's like, he's essentially like a really nerdy otaku who makes these things. Yeah. And then, bro, out of nowhere, car hits him, dead. Yeah. And so the next scene, we're in this different fantasy world where like this chair is being pulled, and like there's a girl in there, and there's a guy in there, and there's like a little kid who's laying on the mom's lap, and they're just like blah 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 blah. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy being, you know, part of the royal thing or whatever. Yeah, I know. And they're like, I hope your husband's okay, you know, fighting on the thing. And it's like, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, your son's so small and meek. Hopefully he becomes big and strong one day. Yeah, and then a giant bug comes and attacks, and then they get out of the chariot, and they have magic, and they're fighting with magic, and then the guy, a fucking mech shows up.
Hell yeah!
And it beats the shit out of the bug thing, and the kid wakes up and he goes like, "Oh my fucking god, a robot!" And dude, no, I can't lie.
No. I would love to see a show where a kid wakes up and is like, "Oh my fucking god, a robot!"
No, okay, well he essentially says, "Oh, a robot." Like and then people are like, "What do you mean a robot?" It's like, these are called like shadow walkers or shadow something or silhouette something. I don't remember. Essentially, they're robots. And then we are told, because I'm pretty sure there's a narrator, that the man who died was reincarnated and brought to this another world, and he is now in this little kid's body. And he's going to live his dream and try to fucking fight robots. And there's a bunch of time jumps. These robots are used with mana. I like it.
Knights and Magic.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. All right, next up, another show that you saw and I did not. Hinalogi, or Hinalogi. Yeah. I don't know how the fuck you say it. From Luck and Logic. This is made by Doga Kobo and it's based off of a card game. Doga Kobo is the studio who made some cute-ass shows. I don't know if you've heard of Gabriel Dropout or if you've heard of Umaru-chan. So anyways, now you know who Doga Kobo is.
I think you should check the show out. It's essentially about magical girls. These girls go to the school to learn how to become logicers or something like that.
Logickies.
And what it is like they go there to with their cards. Here's a card element. They make a bond with these things from different worlds. So there's different realms. They called foreigners that come over, and when they combine with the foreigner, they kind of Power Ranger up or magical girl up, and like they'll take the powers of these girls. Like one of the girls is like a rose chick, and the other girl is like an angel chick, and we don't really know how the world is. And yeah, it's about cute. It's about cute girls. And
so here's the thing with Doga Kobo: they have really good animation.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's clean. It's got like a lighter kind of feel to it. And I haven't seen the show. I didn't watch it because I didn't get around to it. But this is another one that I was interested in watching just because I knew who made it. And it's not a show that I would typically want to seek out and see because it sounds kind of like ridiculous and kind of dumb, but not in a fun way that I normally like. But it is made by Doga Kobo. So I do want to keep watching some of these shows, and this is one that I do want to check out.
Yeah, I check it out. Maybe you like it. It maybe gives you like a... it could lead us down, because it might be a darker world in the future. It could be like a Magic Girl Raising Project kind of vibe. But there is a lot of bath scenes. I feel like in this one episode we see somebody get naked maybe 3 times.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Next up.
Ow.
Next up, Elegant Yokai Apartment. It's made by Shine Animation. It's based off of a novel. Now, Shine, I know that we've talked about them before, but I don't remember what they've done. Anyways, you could watch this show on Crunchyroll.
Cool. So it's about a boy who is going into high school. His mom and dad passed away when he was younger. He lived with his uncles. And kind of felt like he was a burden because financially they don't make a lot of money. So he's super down to get into high school because the high school he's going to happens to have a dorm, so he'll be out of the way and he'll feel better. The day before he's supposed to move in, the dorm burns down, and he feels super bad, and he has to figure out what to do. And his uncle's like, "Well, you can just live with us," and he's just like, he doesn't want to live there because he feels like a burden. So he finds a realtor or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, you can live in this apartment place." And so he's like, "It's super cheap." It was like 2,500 yen a month, which I did the math, which is like, no, is it 2,500 yen? The point is, it was like $22 like a month to live there.
Yeah, it's 2,500.
And I was like, holy shit, that would be amazing. I'd live there in a heartbeat. And so he moves in, and he happens to find out later on, discovers that most of his neighbors, I think,
it's haunted. Oh,
yeah,
God.
there's ghosts. They're yokais or whatever.
Yokai.
And the episode ends with him having to come to terms with that and whether he wants to leave or not, but I'm assuming he's going to stay because there's more episodes. The show doesn't look that great, honestly. The animation is not that great. The style is kind of ugly, and I don't know. It's interesting.
I was interested in it. It seemed like a way more serious version of that one show about all the spirits and shit.
Yokai Watch?
No, not the kid show. Man, I don't remember the name of it. It's the dude who has the cat that turns into like a crazy dragon thing. What am I?
Okay, the one that's like has like super.
Natsume's Book of Friends.
Yeah. It feels like that, but I think Natsume Books of Friends looks better than the show.
Yeah. So I just got similar vibes with hearing the plot of it, and like it's just more serious than Natsume.
I peep it. Check it out and let me know what you think.
All right,
because I know you like ghosts and yokai and those kind of things, right?
Yeah, I like shit,
like spirits. Yeah, there's a lot of
some shit.
There's like plenty of yokai stuff this season.
Yeah, I'll get deep into that shit. Here's some more shit. Fox Spirit Magic Maker, made by Haoliners Animation League. It's based off of a manga.
Oh my god, such crap.
You saw it on Crunchyroll, and it's just a shit fest.
It's bad. It's about a fox girl who meets up with the monk guy, and they're meant to be like lovers. And
dude, hell yeah.
They're supposed to reincarnate people because apparently when you die, you can marry these yokai. And God, it's really bad. Don't watch this. Do yourself a favor. It's fucking shit.
Next up, we have a...
Yeah, no.
Thank you for watching it. I was interested in it actually because it seemed weird, but I was surprised to hear it was so bad.
It's ugly and not a good story. So
cool. Restaurant to Another World.
Okay.
It's made by Silverlink, and it's based off of a light novel. I don't remember what Silverlink does, but I want to say that they do like Steins Gate.
They might. Look it up.
I'm going to talk about it because I wanted to see the show, but I didn't actually get to watch it.
So I only watched one episode of this, and it was enough for me to realize, I like this show. So it's about a guy who's like cooking and stuff or whatever. And
oh man, yeah, that's the whole thing with this. It's like Food Wars levels of
cooking.
Yummy looking food.
So yummy looking food, and he's cooking it, and like the very first scene, one guy's just like, he kind of looks more or less like a normal person. He's like, oh man, the best way to eat is white rice and beef teriyaki or chicken teriyaki, and the guy's like, no, and this other guy looks kind of a little more off. It's like, no man, it's all about this carrot. What's it when the pork is fried and like
katsu.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is the way.
Katsu.
And then the next guy up is like this, like, I want to say he's like this orc looking dude. He's like, nah, man, it's all about. Oh, he's a barbarian looking guy. He's like, nah, man, it's about curry and white rice. And there's a lizard guy, and we zoom out and we realize, guess what? This chef dude serves people from different dimensions. What? Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's essentially about this traveling restaurant that the glowing door opens up and people walk through and they have their meals and they leave, and people of all different kinds and races, and we get to see a bunch of a group of warriors eat there. In the first episode, we also see this giant dragon, like this massive dragon, turns into a sexy naked girl, and she's and she calls her butler, who's this demon looking dude. He's like, give me my dress, it's time for my date. She puts her dress on, she gets inside, and she orders beef stew, and she eats beef stew, and then she leaves the giant like a pot of it, and she puts it down, and she turns into a giant dragon, and she just kind of like wraps around her beef, like this little pot of beef stew. By the way, like giant piles of gold around her, but she's like just around this little pot of beef stew, and she's like dipping her tongue in it. It was like,
that seems fun.
Yeah, and in the very first episode, a girl who's from another dimension where demons exist, and she's half demon and she has horns, and she covers them up, and people find out she's a demon, so she's kind of no longer allowed to work, and she's poor. Sneaks into the kitchen and sleeps there because she thought she was dreaming, and eats food, and the guy offers her the job, like, hey, how do you like to work here once a week, and I'll give you 10 silver, and it's about a really nice guy who cooks food. Yeah,
tight.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be a plot or anything, but the food looks good, and yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, turns out I was thinking of White Fox Studios, not Silverlink. Silverlink did Tanaka-kun is Always Listless.
Yeah.
They've done Baka and Test, Brave Witches, like the Witch Striker things. Yeah. You've seen them. And they also did Masamune-kun's Revenge.
Yeah,
Masamune-kun's
definitely has those kinds of vibes. I liked it. Check it out.
I did want to see this. This looked like it was fucking so much fun. It looked like what I want Food Wars to be, I guess.
Like it's literally like D&D meets Food Wars is what it is. Yeah. Because in the next episode, they preview for it. It was like a guy's climbing up a mountain. He's just like, oh my god, I'm dying, and then he finds the door and he's like, oh my god, you're gonna have a great meal. Congratulations.
Woo.
Yeah.
And then next up we have In Another World with My Smartphone, made by Production Read, based off of a light novel. All these shows we've been able to find on Crunchyroll. That's the reason that I haven't watched them. I didn't watch much Crunchyroll this season. I'm really just fucking up, boys. All right, so tell me about In Another World with My Smartphone.
Okay, so this kid dies. He's in the real world, dies at 15, and he meets God, and God's like, yo, man,
hell yeah,
it was an accident. I'm sorry you're dead. And he's just like, it was a mistake. Didn't mean to do it. And he goes, I dropped some lightning or something like that.
Classic God.
And he's just like, well, I was like, it's cool. And the kid's super interesting. He's like, hey man, it's cool. He's like, and he's like, if you want,
I mean, I would be pretty cool with him. I was like, yo man, I fucked up, but
my bad. Yeah.
Oh God.
So then he's just like, he says something like, hey, you can, I can revive you, but you have to go to a different world. I can't revive you back in your original world. I'm sorry, that's how it works. He's like,
well, because if you're revived back in the original world, you either turn into a zombie or you're retarded.
Yeah.
I think those are the two options.
So he's like, send you to a different world, and the kid's like, yeah, sure. He goes like, is there anything I can do to help you out? And the kid says like, hey, he pulls out his smartphone. He's like, is it possible that in the new world could my smartphone work in there? And the guy goes like, yeah, you'll be able to read the website, watch videos. You just won't be able to contact anybody from the other world. But he's able to he'll be in this new world, but he can oh look, Blink 182, they're back together. Oh, by the way, Linkin Park fucking lead singer killed himself. R.I.P.
Jesus.
I'm saying he would be able to know that. He would be in the new world and see that. Yeah. So, in all honesty, R.I.P. Chester, great musician. Anyways, so God's just like, yeah, sure, we can make that happen. And so then he also, before he leaves, kind of boosts his just who he is as a person, his stats. So in this new world, he kind of will survive. Shows up in the new world, and he just kind of has to figure out how to live. And he pulls out his phone, and there's a map and GPS, and he sells his human clothes to some guy there for money. And he ends up staying at an inn and meets a couple of twins, who one's a magician and the other one, a mage, and the other one's like a fighter. And they join the guild to go make money, and then they learn that he wants to learn to use magic, because that's how he's going to charge his phone. And so the girl brings out these crystals, and there's like, yeah, so all you do is like hold this little crystal and be like, water come out, and then you'll be able to use water magic. Like, they're trying to find out what his element is. Turns out he has all the elements. And the girl's like, I've never seen anybody with all the elements.
He's the Avatar.
I only have 3, blah, 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 and he's just like, oh, yeah. And then a girl's just like, hey, you're from out of town. Is there any recipes you can tell me? I'm trying to make something new here. And he goes like, yeah, how about ice cream? So he teaches him how to make ice cream. And you know what it reminds me of? It feels like, I wrote this down because it kind of feels like a video game. I don't know. You said light novel, right? Yeah. It definitely feels like a video game. Like components are like, okay, level here. We'll do this, do that, and it also kind of feels like it reminds me of like a copy of SAO. Where he's just kind of the best at everything, and people are just like,
he's the best at everything for a reason this time, because God made him the best. He got fucked up.
He also looks like Kirito, like he kind of just like black hair, yeah. So
a little simple.
So the show's not bad. It's just kind of there. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I mean, maybe honestly, I'll watch some more of it.
The artwork looked exactly like you described it right there,
like a watered down version of like Sword Art Online, right?
Well, I mean, not the art. The art looks like it would be like okay. It's just kind of there. Like, it doesn't look like anything super impressive. The plot of it sounds like it could be fun, but honestly, like seeing the art, it usually leads me to believe that the story is some way or another. Like, it's something.
It's just kind of weird for you to want your smartphone in this new world. Like, he's like laying in bed and he's just like, he just has to figure out how to survive, and he's learning to do magic, and he's scrolling. Goes like, oh no. He goes just like, oh, that bandit like is breaking up, and I was just like, oh, cool. I'm glad you're using it for good reasons. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to keep watching this. If there's nothing else to watch, I'll pop it in. But, I mean, not super impressed, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. Next up, Nora Princess and the Stray Cat, made by Wtoon Studio and DMM.Futureworks. It's based off of a visual novel. Now, this is a show that I was kind of surprised you had watched, honestly.
Yeah, well, I wanted to watch them all. Yeah. These are short. These are 3 minutes each.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's about these girls, and they're... I don't know what they are. Maybe... Oh, one of the girls is from... the undead world or whatever, and she turns some dude into a cat.
Classic.
Yeah, everything's super ugly, and it looks like they used Flash animation.
Yep.
And everything's like super chibi with big boobs, and no one really moves, and it's just kind of like, it's bad. Don't look at it.
Don't watch some more of this.
Don't watch it.
It's for me. It's exactly what I want. I love princesses and stray cats. Mm-hmm. Next up, The Irresponsible Galaxy Tyler. It's made by Studio 7, based off of a light novel. Like I said before, these are all on Crunchyroll. I haven't seen this garbage. Sorry.
This one's short, too. This one's 8 minutes long.
Okay.
It's about a guy who's in this weird universe. He has a robot. It reminds me of, like, Space Dandy, but not good.
The title card looked like that.
Yeah, he has, like, a banjo. He's super chill, and his robot is, like, small and super nervous, and they meet up with some girl, and there's, like... They're going to steal... They're not going to... They did steal. They steal a giant... a ship from some mobsters, and they want to go to the center of the galaxy so they can rule the galaxy. And
dude, I've been there.
It's super short, it's super cutaway. Like, they're gonna do this, and then they're just there. I don't know. It's not that good. Don't watch it.
Neat. Yeah, I wasn't sure about how this would be. Also, Tyler is spelled really weird, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like... at first I thought it was like, oh...
Taylor.
Yeah, but I was like, no, it's like, it's Tyler. Like, it's legit. Like, the guy's name is Tyler.
Super funky. Now, this is a show that I actually did want to watch, because I was like, what the fuck is this? It's called Angels 3-Piece, made by Project Number 9. It's based off of a light novel. And you know what? This is the... second Project Number 9 show this season. We've had a couple of Haoliners, which, A Centaur's Life people are really enjoying. That's one of the Haoliners one. And Fox Spirit Matchmaker, you didn't like it. I haven't heard that many things about it, honestly. So, this being the second thing by Project Number number 9, the first one being Chronos Ruler, which people are loving. How do you feel about Angel's 3-piece, which I feel like has a very different vibe than Chronos Ruler?
I like it more than Chronos Ruler.
Yeah.
There's 2 episodes. I watched both of them. It's kind of it's a music anime. So the first episode, we meet the main character, and he's a kind of he's a shut-in, essentially, because he's supposed to be in school. He's in high school, and all he does is make music on his computer and stuff, and he gets in contact with somebody who says, hey, I'd really like to meet you. I think your stuff's really good. We should talk. And he thinks it's an adult. Ends up it's actually a girl that's in the 5th grade.
God, happens to me every day.
And her two friends who they're not sisters, but they might be sisters, like adopted kind of ish. And they're like, hey, come to this church with us. They go to this church, and there's like, hey, check out this underneath this this statue. There's like a hidden door, and in there they have like super dope basses and guitars and drums. They're like, okay, cool, we're gonna show you what we can do. And they fucking rock out. These little girls fucking thrash.
That sounds fun.
They're so fucking dope.
How long are the episodes?
These 24 minutes. It's like full length episode, yeah. And the reason they wanted to meet this kid is because they like his music online, and they want to put on a concert inside this church that they live at, because they're not gonna be able to live there for much longer. Not because like they're dying or being kicked out. It's because the guy who owns it, who takes care of them, is like, well, I need to sell this place, and people say if I sell it to them in August or something like that, they'll put me up in another comfortable place to live or something like that. So yeah, I like this show. The music's great, but man, I don't think you're gonna like the show, because there's some weird vibes to this one. You know, like there's that sexy vibe and stuff in anime. They they sexualize like these elementary school girls. Like the last joke of the first episode is just like, if you help me with this, you know, like if you help me set up this concert, like I'll let you, you know, and it's like, I'll let you, like, while he's saying these, like, we see a shot of her ankles, and then we see a shot of her skirt, and then we see the shot of like her like lips or her face, where it's just like, It's just like, and it's just, he's just like, you know, and then the episode cuts, and I was like, touch it, she means touches the base, but it's definitely like a double-edged sword of a joke, whatever.
Wow, risky.
Yeah, and then the second episode comes out, and like they're trying to convince he's like, he agrees to helping them with the concert, and like, how are we gonna promote the concert? And the little girl's like, oh, I know how. Like, we have to stun people, so they leave and they come back, and one of the girls is wearing a school swimsuit, the other one's wearing a school PE suit, which is like a white t-shirt and like, you know, the short booty shorts.
Yeah. And
the last one's wearing like an apron. He's like, oh, that apron's great. And he's like, yeah. And then he like pulls up her, like, the little girl's like, pull the, like, yeah. And she's naked underneath, and she's like just wearing like her panties. And so then the girls start to argue, like, yeah, show them your panties, blah, blah, blah. Just like, again, super.
It's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's just super weird, because I don't know why they. It's for somebody. These jokes or this. It's
for that guy from My First Girlfriend Is a Gal.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really want to like the show, but those jokes are super weird. We also see like his little sister,
but the music's jamming though, right?
Dude, the music thrashes. Like the end of the first episode, like because they're about to play, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking bomb and be horrible. No, they're fucking killer.
Nice.
I don't know. You have to watch the show to tell me what you think, but yeah,
I would love to watch it. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
It sounds like the worst and best.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Production IG Power Hour. We're talking about Magical Circle Guru.
Okay, this is
it's based off of a manga. You can find it on Crunchyroll.
So this is also this is a show that was a show back in the day. Like it had actually 2 different like running times, like right in the early 70s, and then again in like the early 2000s, something like that. And this is a reboot, essentially, because the guy Production IG picked it up, and they said, we're going to make it again, but it's not going to be connected to the first part 1 or part 2. It's just its own thing. And it's super meta, actually. It's about this guy who's like going to be the hero of the world, and his parents really want him to be the hero of the world. And he's like, I don't want to be the hero of the world. And it's like, too bad. And then like everything's kind of 8-bit. Like you zoom out and there's a map, and you see like the 8-bit moving to different places. And it's super fun. Like there's like the intro was like, I was like, this looks like shit, and I watched it, and the intro was like, oh my god, it had this super awesome old school video game vibes to it.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's super cool. I'm interested. And then the show had super old school video game vibes to it during it.
That's really funny because it was made so long ago. It was made before like video games were a prominent thing. It's funny that they kind of took this and set the groundworks for making a show that feels like a game.
Well, I think it got made into a game later after it was a manga and an animation. I think it actually became like a handheld game or whatever, because I was looking into it, and there is a game in the I like it. I think it's super fun, super funny actually, and yeah, I think you should check it out. He meets up. His name is Nike or Nike. It's Nike.
Yeah,
but everybody calls him
Nike
or something like that. I was like, cool. So Hiro Nike and his mage friend, and they're just kind of going to go save the world, and
fuck yeah,
I like it a lot. I check it out.
I want to watch it. I mean, Production IG does great shit. So like, Welcome to the Ballroom. You can find that on Amazon Strike. It's also based off of a manga. You know what? Watching it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Still haven't seen the second episode. Yeah, I'm sure that you have.
I saw the second one. The third one's already out, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Essentially, what we're getting is main character. He doesn't know how to dance. He doesn't know shit, but he's interested.
Yeah.
So he goes and he takes this dancing class. He's kind of like forced into it by this guy who saves him from bullies for bullying him for being interested in dancing.
But then he bullies him into like dancing.
Yeah, essentially he just like bullies him into dancing, and then he's just like, oh, this piece of shit's never gonna make it. He's an idiot. And then it turns out he danced his night away, and it's the morning time already, and he like ruined his shoes, and he's got like blistered feet, and he finally learned how to do
the box step. Yeah, box step. Yeah, I like this show. It's essentially like, like a show of like that a sports anime would be, except it's dancing. The kid just like, he wants to be the best dancer, and he's not. And in the second episode, he goes to competition and sees the girl that he likes dancing with another guy, and then he sees that like how intense and how much like work is there involved to become a dancer, and he really wants to do it because this guy has literally nothing. Like, he doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life. And he's like, maybe I'll be a dancer, kind of offhandedly, and then he realizes, you're like, you know what, like, it's not as easy as just saying it. He's got to do it. But he's actually really talented. Like, I really like the fact that like they don't in your face like, oh my god, he's amazing. But the guy that's dancing is just like, oh, he picked it up pretty well. Like, and then he learns that the way he learns how to dance is not by being told, is by like just kind of seeing, and he kind of picks it up.
And they show that in the first episode. He tries to emulate what he's seen before and like imagines it, and
like a pendulum, right?
Yeah, exactly. He sees it as something else. He sees that the motions are actually mimicking other motions. In order to help him learn how to do these moves.
Who is this? What studio was this?
Production IG.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous, Sam.
Yeah, Production IG has made Haikyuu as well, so they've got that kind of like sports vibe to it. Yeah, and that I think really lends itself to this show.
I feel like the hair too is really similar. Haikyuu hair, this kind of show. Like, really like I really like the way this show looks. And you super know they're definitely marketing this towards girls because like all the guys have eyelashes for days. Like,
well, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, you got caterpillars on both eyes.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy.
You know how people say like caterpillar eyebrows?
Yeah, no,
this caterpillar eyelashes.
It's just like fucked up. When there's a close up, I was just like, oh my god, he's got fur.
And the weird thing about it too, like I don't look at many people's eyelashes.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. But with girls, it's like always black because, they want to make them stand out. Well, that's just how it is. Like, with makeup, your eyelashes are going to be black. But one of the main characters is blonde, and his eyelashes are like this dirty blonde color.
Like super blonde.
Yeah.
In real life, if someone has blonde eyelashes, it looks like they don't have eyelashes. Like, oh, okay, because your eyes are blonde, no one sees them.
Yeah.
I like this show. I'm going to keep watching it. I think it's super fun, and I like the way it looks, and I like the main character a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like him too. I do want to keep watching this show. This is one of the shows that I'm going to keep watching of the season, for sure. Next up, let's talk about Classroom of the Elite. It's made by a studio called Lerch, who I enjoy some of their stuff a lot. They've made, I believe that they're the ones that made Magical Girl Raising Project, like I said before. And it's based off of a light novel. Now, you watched this show first. This is a show that you were pretty interested in.
Yeah, I hit you up about it. I was like, have you seen this yet? You're like, no, not yet. And I've seen 2 episodes now.
Yeah.
But at the time, there'd only been 1. And I messaged you saying, like, hey, man, like, I don't know how you feel about the show, and I don't know how I feel about it either, but I really think the premise is super interesting. And it's about this kind of, this school where they promise that, like, anybody that goes there, when they come out, they have, like, 100 or almost 100% like employment rate. Like that's how great you are. If you leave the school, you're gonna get a job for sure. So you meet the main character, and he's on a bus, and we kind of slowly learn what kind of world it is. It opens with this monologue talking about equality and how like how everybody when they're born are equal, but then as time progresses, there are gaps, and we realize that you're no longer equal, which was kind of super deep.
Well, the show, real interesting story.
Yeah, and so we get to the school, and they're kind of like breaking things down. And the school is almost like, it looks kind of like a base, everything is that you need in the school is there.
Yeah,
and they're also given allotted like this monthly allowance of like 100. Was it 100,000?
I think it was 100,000 yen, which is like $1,000,
which was a lot for high school kids. You know
what that is.
And they're like, yeah, go do this, and like there's like stores there, and there's like malls, like everything you want is there. So quickly we see a bunch of people like spending their money, and there's this other character, like a girl character, who kind of has similar vibes to our main character, who's like going and buying like just the basic essentials like shampoo and whatever, and then she sees like a smaller section that says free. It's like free crap. It's just like it's not like high quality shampoo, and she grabs that stuff, and that kind of ticked me off. Like, whoa, is something gonna happen? Like, is there gonna be like some dealie that's gonna go on now? And by the end of the first episode, we learned that the month is up. People have been spending their allowance on like stupid video games or like food and stuff, and these kids have been blowing off school and being tardy, not paying attention in class. And so when the time for them to get their 100,000 yen comes in, none of them get it. And the teacher's like, listen, we ranked you guys, and we've deducted you guys from all your tardies and all your absences and all of this bad behavior in your test scores, and we've subtracted that from your monthly allowance, so you guys get 0.
And it's not like they're subtracting each individual. What they're doing is they have a pool that's distributed to all the students.
Yeah. So as a class, as a unit, even though one person may have been really great,
our main character,
just because they're kind of like by themselves, everybody else is fucked. And that's where the first episode ends, and I'm just like, whoa. Super pumped. I was like, this is kind of interesting. I'm like, I wonder where they take this. The concept, like this premise of like this school where you get these points or credits, because there's no free cafeteria. There's no like, go get lunch here. They have to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And if you have no money for the month, you're starving.
Well, something about the show, this is a shorter format show. The thing that bothered me about it was the pacing, I think.
Yeah.
It was a shorter format, but I felt like they lingered on things too long, or they didn't elaborate that much. I'm pretty sure it was. I want to say it was like 12 minutes long, but I could be completely wrong. Either way, I felt like they really lingered on things that weren't that important. So I kind of lost interest at points, which sucks because I really enjoy the idea of the show. I enjoy the plot. I was not into many characters. I wasn't really into the main character, honestly.
Yeah.
And the animation was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But, this is a studio. They've made a lot of different things that all look different ways. So they've made that show that you like, Danganronpa.
Yeah, Danganronpa 3 or whatever.
Yeah, Dang Grandpa. And then they also
I wish we would learn the name of that show.
It's like Danganronpa.
So I think you nailed it, yeah.
Yeah, anyways. They've also made Monster Musume, and they did make Magical Girl Raising Project, and they've had, all these different things that they've done. So they all have different styles. This studio could pretty much do whatever they want. Not into this style.
Yeah.
Just personally.
No, yeah.
I've seen what they could do. This style isn't... I don't think that it feels good for this, because it makes the characters less relatable in some way. Like, they almost look too realistic, but then because they're so realistic, they need to have more personality, but they don't have enough. And that's usually what animation does in certain ways. They allow you to give characters more personality because of the animation, but it looks too realistic, so you can't give them as much.
Yeah, I would argue that the show doesn't look all that great at all.
Yeah.
But the concept of it's really interesting, and I would like to see where it continues. Because the second episode, I was just like, oh, let's see what the repercussions of them not studying or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're kind of not there. And it's like, I thought it was going to be super more intense than that, because you've said the things that they've made, they Danganronpa or whatever, and Magical Girl Raising Project.
And School Live.
Yeah. So, so these shows that have really dark themes, and actually I like all those things we just like. I didn't think I'd like Magical Girl Raising Project. End up loving it.
Yeah. So
I'm going to keep going on with this, because I'm hoping it comes out and I'm super surprised.
I want you to continue watching it. I'm unfortunately not interested in continuing.
No, absolutely.
But you let me know how it goes, how it picks up,
Yeah.
And then I'll keep watching it. Did you find out if it was long or short format?
It's 24 minutes long, actually.
It is?
Yeah,
okay, wow. I felt like it was a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's because nothing really happens. Yeah,
that's kind of, I guess, why I felt that way.
Honestly, you know, I was kind of hoping maybe there'll be some like battle royale vibes to it, which is like something
I think that maybe that's going to kind of be it. It's going to be a little bit like get in shape, like do your schoolwork, like
or you get fucking expelled or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean that, or like you know the students start ganging up on other students.
Yeah, stealing points.
Like a big, like, war.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to see what can happen, but as of right now, kind of slow.
Yeah. So I'm interested. I want to keep watching more, but I also don't want to waste my time with it. So it's hard to say. Next up, Convenience Store Boyfriends, made by Studio Pierrot. It's an original story, and this show, it starts out, and I'm fucking in it, right? I was really surprised. I'm like, okay, like I didn't know what to expect from it, but it starts out, and it's like this really good drama romance type thing going on, and I was interested in it. Like this girl gets a drink and the guy gets there a little bit late to the convenience store. It was like really romantic and sweet, and I was into it. And then
he runs off. He runs off, and he like looks at his watch, and then he runs back, and she comes out, and she's just like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of strange, but I liked it.
Yeah.
And then it continues, and I progressively didn't like it.
Cared
more.
less,
like more and more that I watched, the worse it got.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, so this is the show that I watched, and it's essentially a show about, I think they're in high school, and it's relationships. You know, like I like her, she likes me, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. You know. I like it. But I also like that last show from last season about middle school love or whatever.
You know, well, that's the thing. I wanted it to be like a really good romance type show.
Yeah.
But I felt, I guess, bored with the characters. Yeah. I didn't feel like their connections were that great. I wasn't super interested in what was going on.
You just don't love, is what you're saying.
What I'm trying to say is their love sucks, bro.
You don't love, dog.
Bruh.
I love love.
Bruh.
I love love. Anyways, I really like the show. I'm still watching it. Sierra likes it too. We're going to watch it together. But the one thing I do have to say about the show, it doesn't look that amazing. Like, I got into the kind of discussion with Sierra saying that, like, it's not that it's not, you know, it's not that it's bad. It's just not beautiful or gorgeous or anything, you know. It's just kind of, you know, run of the mill anime, you know. Like it looks okay and it does the job, but that doesn't mean I don't have to like it. I should be knocked for that, because I've seen shows where it's like, this is shit, but I like the story enough, or a show the story's garbage but the animation's nice enough. So I'm kind of right there where like I'm not in love with the way it looks, but I'm interested enough to keep watching it.
You know, the story it just wasn't. It wasn't doing it for me. I wanted to be into this. I was at the beginning, man. I was so down with it. And then, I don't know.
No, it's fine. So, I mean, it's like teach their own, you know?
Yeah, it's not for me, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't, it wasn't my cup of tea. Next up, Aho Girl. By Diomedia. It's based off of a 4-koma manga, which makes so much fucking sense. So we get like an over-the-top, ridiculous type show about a girl who's a monkey, essentially. She's a normal girl. She fucking loves bananas. She's got these crazy long pigtails, and she's hypersexual towards her neighbor
friend. She the basic premise of the show is this girl's a total idiot, and she just does the stupidest things, and we have to see her friend deal with it, and her friend doesn't like shy from beating the shit out of her. Like, she just like punches her all the time, and everybody knows she's a moron.
Even her mom knows.
Yeah, she's just like, she's a moron, please bury my daughter. It's like, no. So that's just a joke. And I mean, the joke of the show is that over and over, she does stupid things, and she also, you know, likes to, you know, show her panties and be naked, and it kind of feels like it's turning into a harem, because it feels like there are other girls get introduced, and they all seem to like the main character's friend,
guy,
which isn't the main character.
No, he's not. But his whole thing is he's really good at everything, and he's handsome, but like not overly handsome, and he's just
good looking enough.
Yeah, he's just like a good stand-up dude, smart, funny. Is he funny? I don't know. He's
honest, and like he was like talking to like the what's it called, like the class rep, and he's like, hey, he's like, you're a cute girl, like, and he's like, no, I'm being serious, like, you're cute, like, and she's kind of scared at him. He's like, you're superintendent's like, no, you're cute, and she's like, instantly smitten. Or she also runs into like in the second episode runs into the some girl that's in charge of the student council, and she's like, hey, if this moron bugs you anymore, let me know, I'll protect you. And then she falls in love with him too, and like in the next episode she comes up to me and is like, I need to give you a body search, like a full cavity search, which is super kind of inappropriate. I don't know. You're saying people online like this show.
I fucking love it.
I don't like it very much.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it looks fine, I feel like, but I mean, I'm not feeling it.
So if you wanted to watch this, you could go over to Crunchyroll. Actually, for the last 3 that we talked about, Classroom of the Elite, Convenience Store Boyfriends, and Aho Girl, all on Crunchyroll.
Convenience Store Boyfriends is getting a dub on Funimation, so
hell yeah. Next up, let's talk about Suredure Children, which is made by Studio Gokumi. It's a 4-koma manga. Now, I haven't heard of the studio before, but if they do anything like this, I think that they're pretty good. This is a show that I'm going to keep watching just because it's short, it's cute, it's fun. I think it's 12 episodes.
This one is
12 minutes long.
This one is short, yeah.
Essentially, we get to see these stories about different couples that... Well, they don't necessarily start out as couples in the beginning, but quickly we find out that they're fun. It's kind of sweet. It's cute.
It's about love.
It's a good show.
Yeah, you were saying this is the show that's being compared to that show I liked last season, the End Bits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just feels like little skits, little snippets of different relationships being shown, and some of them are super wacky, some of them are super cute, some of them are a combination of the two.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I like the way it looks a lot. Like my favorite bit was the class, or the kid at the top of the class busting the girl smoking.
Yeah, well, wasn't he like the student council president?
Yeah, student council president. Like he was just like, hey, you're smoking. He's like, and it was like a super funny interaction between the two of them.
It was just sweet. It was fun.
Yeah, great kick out of this show. I'm going to keep watching this.
I highly recommend this. It's a good time. Next up, Fastest Finger First. It's by TMS Entertainment. It's based off of a manga. You can watch this and the last show both on Crunchyroll. Fastest Finger First. All right, so check it. Fucking awesome plot. We've talked about this before, but awesome plot. We got these kids who are quiz champs. They want to go to the quiz bowl. All fucking over it. Main character, what the fuck's quiz? I don't know. This seems like a nerd thing. Turns out that I'm a nerd. I know all these things. This is fun. But how do they do it? Oh, let's break it down like way too much and like way too slow and like
So you were telling me about, you watched it before I did, and you're just like, it was hard for you to describe why you didn't like it, but you're like, just watch it and you'll understand. And I watched, I was like, oh my god, I get it. It was like, I instantly get it. This show wants to be, it could be so great,
it's right there,
and it's not. And the problem is it does the premise like in other sports animes or any other anime where there's some sort of invented game like Yu-Gi-Oh or I don't know, where they have to break. There's always that one person that's
activate my trap card. I'll do this and
then
that.
There's someone in the crowd is like, oh my god, if he does that, it's just, they break down the science of what it is to be in an academic bowl or whatever. It's like, from like what do you have to do to push the button, and like how you can guess the answer with the cadences, and these are like the classics, which are like classical questions that always get asked, and super fucking lame, man.
I think the most frustrating part about this to me is that you think of a quiz show as something that's smart, that requires even just the viewer to participate more. Like when you watch Jeopardy, you are trying to answer the questions, even if you aren't actually trying. In your head, you're kind of thinking,
oh, I know that one.
I might know this, I might know that, like this is my guess, even if you're not saying it out loud. I've been around families that
like Wheel of Fortune, I feel like that. Like Wheel of Fortune comes out, like, oh, I can try to guess this, and it's super fun. This show doesn't have that. They steal that from you. Yeah,
they do. It slows it down way too much, but then they're also not like, hey, this is an important thing. Like, let's learn this. This is how the main character knows that. Instead, they break down the parts that aren't that smart. Mm-hmm. They break down the really simple, stupid things. And it's like, I understand how to press a fucking button.
Yeah.
I understand how people are able to answer questions before they're fully finished. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to answer a question before it's done being asked.
Yeah.
But I think that most people in their head, when you're having a conversation, you're kind of anticipating what the person's going to be saying. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I think people do naturally. This show doesn't let you do that.
Yeah, they let you enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's like the fun of like, you don't even get to try to answer the question.
No.
Because the questions aren't the highlight of the show. The highlight of this show is they're trying to make what the science and the mechanics are behind what it is to be a quiz bowler, which, by the way, are fucking boring. They're just like, you gotta lead with the button. So you essentially, like, a huge massive thing to explain why they kind of put their finger on the button a little bit fast, a little bit before they actually hit the button. That way they get a little edge. It's so fucking boring. The one thing I did like was the girl in this show. She mentioned something called the absolute zone or whatever. Like, she's explaining how some questions are like in quiz bowls are like super otaku questions, like what do you call the area above the high socks and below the skirt of a woman?
Yeah, that's right.
And I was just like, and I didn't know the answer to that. I was like, oh my god, finally a fucking question. And it brought up and he answered it, and I was like, that's super fun. That was the most fun moment of the entire show.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
because they go into certain things. I wish it was Slumdog Millionaire style or something like that, where it's like, this is that question, and then it breaks it down, and you see, like, this is how he learned about that in some way or another. Yeah. Or at least we get to see some kind of prep. Like, even in Malcolm in the Middle, they didn't focus on the questions being, like, the important thing. In that, they had a fun twist with it, where they leaked the answers to every group, and that way, like, people were buzzing in before they even knew the answer, and then it became everybody's buzzing at the same time and yelling the questions, answers. Like, it was just a fun twist on it. And in this, there's no fun, no twist, nothing.
This show could be so good, but it's not. They fucked it, and I don't see this being saved at any point.
The funny thing about this is that I'm bitching a lot about it, but it's not even the worst show.
No, I'm
just upset because it's so close to being good.
Because we almost had a great show.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about another show. Why don't we talk about Clean Freak Aoyama-kun, made by Studio Hibari. It's based off of a manga, and we watched the show while we were in LA for Anime Expo.
Sure did. I had to rewatch it because I fell asleep. I was so tired.
You little baby girl. Beautiful little sleepy baby.
So the show's about a soccer player who is a germaphobe, and he doesn't like to get dirty, so he avoids heading the ball. He avoids being touched by other players, and when there's mud or it's raining, he just kind of doesn't move because he doesn't want to get dirty. And that's kind of it. He's kind of surrounded by his team is just like these wacky characters, and there's one guy who really hates his guts for some reason because the guy's super good, but he also doesn't like, he hates him because like he's super good and he doesn't seem to have that drive or whatever, even though we find later in the episode, oh, guess what? This guy does have a winning edge. Like, in the very end, he exposed himself to getting dirty to win the game because he hates losing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments where the show would go chibi.
Yeah, which they did that because they were showing, like, Aoyama-kun is a really suave, collected, very good soccer player. Like, he's got everything.
Girls love him.
Yeah, and then whenever he's avoiding people because they're dirty, and it turns into a goofy moment where he goes chibi.
His eyes go wide out, and he's super chibi. It's just like, I don't know, man. And then a rival or a friend he met for the Japanese national team for the teens, because he was chosen to be on the Japanese teen team, wants him to join his soccer team. He's just like, I'll beat you, and if I beat you, you should join our team. He likes to show off his abs, which is a super lame gimmick.
So weird.
You know what I really liked, actually? I mean, I didn't like the show that much. I don't think I'll continue to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, because I don't really like the main character too much, or the annoying character.
I didn't like the supporting characters. Yeah. I didn't like the main character. The animation, I kind of did like. I like the style of it. Yeah. It's got a kind of funny concept. It's just, it doesn't have enough things for me to want to keep watching it. It was okay.
The one thing I liked was the outro. I don't know if you watched around 6 of the outro. They, I couldn't figure it out or not, because I was like, maybe this was based off like an older show, but they do a really big throwback where they make all the characters in the show in like old like what old anime used to be, and they're like they're super poorly running, and like they have like the fire in their eyes is literally like fire, like flames going up, and I thought that was super fun for some reason. I really enjoyed that.
There are some really good outros out there. Outros are usually different from the TV show. The intros give you a more honest look at what the show might be, and the outros kind of take you out of it a little bit. And they're like, you know what? Let's just have a little bit of fun. And I remember from watching anime, like back in the day when I was first watching it, realizing like, outros are a bit different. And I like it whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Just always have, always will.
I don't know what it was. I really enjoyed that outro. I would probably watch the show more if it looked like that, honestly. Like,
yeah, sure. I mean, if they made like a modernized, old school anime, I don't know how they would do it, but that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, how they would do it is this other show that's going to come up later.
Sweet. Okay, so let's talk about Altair, Record of Battles, made by MAPPA. It's based off of a manga. It was on Amazon Strike. Holy shit, I wanted to like this show.
God, I did not like the show.
I really wanted to. It had things that
I thought were cool. I can't even talk about it.
All right, so check it out. We're back in some kind of a time. Don't know when exactly. Do you know
Galaxy
when?
Far. No, it's some old. It's in the past.
Okay. Anyways, we're in Africa. We're in some deserts. It looks like we're in some like Arabian Nights type style.
Arabian Nights, like Arabian. You know they casted the guy for Aladdin in the live action Aladdin movie.
What?
Yeah, you know they're doing a live action Aladdin movie.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Disney's making a live action Aladdin movie.
What?
And they casted Aladdin.
Oh, that's fucking cool. It's
pretty
good to them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyways, back to your thing.
So we get this dude. He has a huge ass turban. He's got these like neat looking robes. Honestly, the show fucking looks great, doesn't it? It looks really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And it turns out that he's like a master. He's just into reading, learning all these different things so that he could be more and more capable, because he's apparently like king of all battles and nobody really knows why, because he's just like a dude, whatever.
It's like this young blonde guy, you know?
Yeah, he's just a little kitty. And the town's having a nice little like dance festival thing, and then this girl's like, hey, come dance with me, we're friends, and like dance or whatever.
Like big boobs.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm sexy and I'm tan, look at me. And so he dances with her reluctantly, and then she's like, all right, can I stay at your place? And he's like, well, can't you just go back to yours? And she's like, I'm tired or whatever, like, just let me stay over here, come on. And he's like, all right, cool, I'll go sleep on the roof, you get my bed. Not in like a joke way, just like, this is what happens, I'm not comfortable with that, well, because like I'm pretty young and young. You're not.
Yeah, he's like supposed to be like 15 or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, he's a scholarly person, so he's clearly not trying to
super about being proper and educated, and he likes war and whatever, learning about battles and stuff. Yeah.
So he goes and sleeps on the roof, and then he goes out to go and find some thugs in town. Oh shit, he found one. He's running away with some extra bullshit.
Sends his hawk in.
Yeah, well, essentially he comes down, he's like, hey, I'm really good at fights. And the guy's like, fuck you, no you're not. And he's like, hawk boy. And then the hawk comes in and it smashes his face and like gores his eyes out, and it's just bloody and gruesome.
Like, what I tell you?
We don't really get to see that. But essentially, yeah, he's beaten immediately. And then I was like, okay, well, the hawk does everything. He doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Turns out he kind of sucks and just calls his hawk in to fight. And then we get to see a little bit more about how he uses his hawk, and he's a little hawk boy. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got for the show, honestly.
It was super bored, man. Like, there's a point where there's this political issues where another nation is accusing the nation he's from, that they killed one of their, like, you know, I don't know if it was like some soldier or somebody of some importance, because they're like, oh, we saw you do it. And so then to avoid war, they send one of like his mentor, essentially they send his mentor to go resolve it. But what's really happens is they're going to kill that guy. So he stops him, and he discovers, he does some sleuthing, some detective work, that oh my god, these arrows aren't the right arrows. They're setting us up. They want to start a war. Yeah. I could not care less about the show. I thought it was so fucking boring. It looked really good, but bored as fuck.
Characters weren't that interesting. Mm-hmm. We didn't get enough setup either. It was just like, all right, this is the character. See him do a thing. Here's the whole plot. Like, now you're in it. And I'm like, I don't care about his master. I don't care about that character.
Don't care about his hawk.
The only character that had any personality that was interesting was the girl that was trying to like be over sexualized, and which I didn't care for her too much, but I was like, oh shit, she has personality.
She's a person, like,
wow, this is what normal people are like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Not a good show.
Not for me.
I wouldn't watch it anymore.
God, it looked good, though. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, let's continue on. Why don't we talk about Love and Lies, made by Leiden Films. It's based off of a manga. Okay, so I was down with the show for a bit.
How far for a bit?
I think until, you know, the super sloppy gooey kiss.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. I think I told you about the show. I was like, look, man, check it out. really good premise.
It's pretty interesting. So essentially the plot of it is Japan gets a little bit difficult to have kids.
Yeah, people are fucking, yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. People have been paying too much attention to work. People are too busy with this and that, and they're just not focusing enough on relationships. So our main character, he has a crush. He has a huge fucking crush. But he's about to turn 16, which is the age that the government assigns you a wife.
Or a husband, yeah.
Or a husband, yeah, whatever. But, like, for the main character, a wife. Because the whole point is they get to have kids.
What if someone's, like, a lesbian or homosexual? Oh, I guess it would nip down the bud.
They have to have kids.
They're just like, no, I can't do it. Wow,
yeah.
This sucks. Yeah. That's why it's a good premise, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shitty world to live in, but the idea is they don't want to just die out because Japan is...
Super pride.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Yeah, and then they do a bunch of, like, a science. There's, like, they try to find your perfect match genetically.
They do their best work.
And essentially they say, like, because of this, Japan's, population's gone up, and they've also essentially bred smarter people. Like, and so, you feel for the guy. He loves this girl, and she's already 16, but she hasn't gotten her notice yet. But, he decides to confess to her before he turns 16, the day before he turns 16. And she loves him back, man. It's super sweet.
Yep. And so what we see is some gooey ass, sloppy ass, slobbery boy kisses.
Well, yeah. Look, okay, so you were like, that's when that happened. I was like, oh, super cringy, because it was a little much. But
it was a little bit much.
I'm pretty sure I sent you the argument, like saying, look. I get it's a little much, but in their defense, they are teenagers, right? They're super hormonally charged. They've never been allowed to like. Care about other people, and their lives are essentially written out for them. Like, you gotta marry this person. So, it's like, let's kiss. And it's like, cool. It's like, I want to do more things to you. And he's just like, yeah. And so the kiss becomes more intense. And it's like, yeah, they're in the heat of the moment. I totally understand that. But yeah, they did have one really gooey...
They didn't need that extra goo. I'm okay. Dude, they could have done whatever they wanted, but as soon as it gets gooey, that's where I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? That's for you guys. Oh, it's not for me.
Let's get to the really good part. Right after the really super gooey kiss.
All right, so pretty much he gets this message on his phone. It's like, yo, boy, guess who you gonna marry? You gonna marry that girl that you just kissed.
And he's like super stoked.
But his phone's like freaking the fuck out, and it's glitchy and it's weird. And I was like, okay, well, that's weird that it's doing that. It would be hard to read if it was doing that. So if it was me personally, this is the first thing that I thought when I saw it glitching out. Screenshot. I thought that before it even like died. I was just like, dude, screenshot that. I don't know what the fuck it's saying. Like, he's like, I'm trying to read the name, and
his blood was in some other section of his body.
Dude, guess it was all coming out of his nose, like in true anime fashion.
Form. Yeah.
But then he gets assigned somebody else immediately after.
Really, two people just roll up.
FBI comes in and like, FBI, stop kissing that girl. You're going to get married.
They didn't even see that part. They're just like, hey, man, here's your papers. It's legit. And he goes like, what? But this was some sort of mistake. And they're like,
this is the girl I'm supposed to marry. See my phone that's dead.
And then they're just like, sorry, papers is the paper. Bye.
So essentially, I was into it, and then it got a little bit too gross for me, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this show.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the second episode yet.
I watched the second one.
How you feel?
He meets up with the girl that's supposed to be his wife, and she's like a super cute girl who goes to an all-girls school, and he's super awkward because he still promises this other girl, we're going to be together no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is super romantic. So I like the show because it's like romantic. There's a sweet story to it. But there is a super, like, hypersexualized element to it, like them kissing, or, there's that moment where they're at their meet and greet thing, and, like, he's super rude because he's not interested, so she leaves, and he goes after her, and they fall into a room, and he falls on top of her, or she falls on top of him, like, that, that moment where I snap, I'm like, oh, there it is, there's that quintessential anime moment where this thing happens, and later on, he goes to her school, and, she's in the, what's it called, the
chemistry.
No. It's where you go. We get to sit in the nurse's office. She's asleep or whatever, and they're talking some more. And she gets changed, and she halfway forgets to change, and then she just has her panties on for the rest.
Hell yeah!
So it's that thing where like anime does that thing where
it gets a little bit too much. Like you like this isn't believable.
It's like, you like this show? Cool. Let's make it sexy for you because this is everybody's dream. And
like, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like an adult. I don't want that.
It's not like impossible to watch. But I really really thought just kind of like Classroom Elite, super cool, interesting thing. I might keep watching it. There's a third episode out.
It looks good, honestly, too.
It does look great. You saw that little spit, little dribble, the super shiny dribble, dog.
Let's move on. Why don't we talk about Katsugeki Token Ranbu? It's made by UFO Table, I think, or UFO Table. I don't know what the fuck it's made by. UFO Table. It's based off of a card game.
Which is this one?
So this one is like one of the weirdest ones.
Oh, did you watch this one?
Yeah,
I hated this show.
I didn't like it either.
I fell asleep.
I don't have much to say about it other than we get a couple of really cool dudes. One of them's learning how to be a cool dude. The other one's just cool. They got swords. They're wearing like some old school like Rurouni Kenshin style
and there's
badass.
Like a little flurry, fluffy thing that follows them, right?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, and they're trying to fight off these skeleton boys that are attacking everything, and I'm cool with that. They're coming in through some interdimensional portals, and they're like, we gotta kill the skeleton monsters because we gotta save the town. And then, well, it's not working out that great. I think they're time travelers too.
Yeah.
It got all fucked up and weird. And then, as they get overwhelmed with all these skelly boys, we find out there's a bunch more time traveling crazy cool like samurai dudes, but they're using different weapons. We got knives guy, and we got like bow guy, and we got the whole gang. But also, I made it sound way more exciting than it was, because it was pretty slow, pretty boring, no characters that I cared about. The animation was like pretty alright, honestly. It wasn't interesting. Had a lot of elements that I wanted to like.
I fell asleep, and I was like, after waking up, because I saw the opening part, like the whole action sequence, fell asleep, so I was so bored. Woke up for the end, and I was just like, you know what? Not even worth watching it. Like, no, I feel like the show is lame. I'm not watching it.
And you could go, for those last three, you could go on Amazon Strike for those.
Yeah.
And next up, we'll talk about Hitori Hijime My Hero, made by Encourage Films, based off of a manga. I was bored.
Yeah, this show is about a guy who is kind of like a nobody, right? And he kind of hangs out with a group of thugs.
Yep.
Because his mom's kind of a whore, I think.
Sounds right.
And then he meets...
he has like a best friend.
Yeah, he has like a school friend who becomes his best friend. And he meets that best friend's brother, who they call the Bear Killer. Because he's this guy who just goes around and beats the shit out of people.
Like essentially murders thugs.
He doesn't murder them, but he beats the shit out of thugs.
Essentially.
And this guy kind of becomes his idol, almost like his boy crush. And then, so that's the beginning part. And then we see the end part. Like, they're in high school now and they're better friends. And he's kind of changed and become a different person, trying to become a better person. He doesn't hang out with those thugs anymore. And there's just this kind of like romantic and kind of, I feel like romantic vibes between him and the other guy's brother. And then there's also like the other guy's brother. There's a new character the new kid who comes into town who he knew in the past, and he's avoiding him for some reason. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what the problem with this show was? Everything was kind of plain looking, and
I was just gonna say, like, nothing really stands out.
And I really can't tell the characters apart, because at one point I was just like, why? I thought they were friends. And it's like, no, it just turns out they have similar hair color and not enough features or
that's racist.
differences to like for me to be able to be like, oh, they're different people. I didn't really care at all about this show.
I didn't either. I was immediately just like, nah, this isn't for me. Finished the episode, but I still just wasn't down with it, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe it's great, but I'm not willing to give it another chance. I was super bored.
Next up, you didn't watch these last two shows.
Thank God, I can take a break.
Okay. Lights of the Cleone by Drop. It's based off of a novel. This is a super short style. I don't really know how to describe it that well, but we have this girl who's kind of being bullied. I think there are 3 episodes out right now. She's being bullied, and she doesn't think that anybody likes her.
Does she deserve the bullying?
High. She's like nothing, dude. She doesn't deserve bullying. She's just like, whatever. She's a normal-ass girl.
Good.
So she's just like, oh no, people hate me. People want to bully me. And then some girls come up, and they're like, hey, we want to be your friends. She's like, oh no, they're bullying me. I don't want to be bullied, so I won't be their friend. And they're like, no, we like really want to be your friend. We like friends and we like people, and you're a person. Let's be friends. Long story short, they become friends, and she's like, maybe the world isn't so bad, but I was so sad before. People bullied me. That's all I got for you on that. It looks okay.
Okay.
It's really short.
Is that worth checking out?
I would recommend it to people that are looking for a really short drama.
Okay.
Because it's all right.
Okay.
Cool. Next up, we're talking about Vatican Miracle Examiner, made by J.C. Staff, and it's based off of a novel. We expected some cool shit from this.
Did we? I didn't know this was a thing.
We expected some real cool shit.
This is on strike, right?
It's on Amazon Strike.
Okay.
We watched Castlevania.
Oh, yeah.
This show was like Castlevania if it were bad. Essentially what we're getting is we got these dudes who work at the Vatican and they're trying to like figure out all these stories that are like, oh, demons and ghosts, and they're like, all right, well, it's not really demons and ghosts, let's go check it out. It's like the shittiest version of The Conjuring ever.
Oh, nice. How long is it?
It's full-length episodes, so it's, it was not for me. The whole style of it. What?
To look good?
Well, it's got this really like European Vatican type style to it. Yeah, who would have guessed?
My bread and butter.
So it has this really gothic kind of feel, which I think allows itself to draw the viewer in a little bit more with the world and the story. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't have much to say about it, honestly. I would not recommend it to people. It didn't catch my attention. But what it did do is make me disappointed in JC's Staff.
That sucks. I like JC's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are all the shows. Let's quickly just do a rundown of what we're going to actually watch.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so for this summer of Anime 2017, I'm going to for sure watch Made in Abyss. I'm going to continue watching Princess Principal. Gamers, I'm going to keep going with. Let's see. Oh, Knights and Magic for sure. A Restaurant from Another World. Magical Circle Guru Guru. Did we talk about that?
We did.
Okay, I see. The show this has been so long I forgot.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing of this season. Also, I don't know if you did this, but previously I've taken notes on the shows.
Yeah, I'll write little things down like this show sucks, or be like,
yeah,
this show reminds me of this.
I didn't do that for this.
Yeah. Next up, also going to be watching Convenience Store Boyfriends, and
Suridure.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the concept of Love and Lies, so I'm going to keep checking that out. Just like kind of how I feel about like Classroom of the Elite. Like, yeah, the concept's interesting enough for me to keep going. I'm not sold on it yet. Yeah, and I'll probably, I don't know about Angel's 3-Piece. Like, I really like the girls rocking out, but it was a little weird. There's a lot of good shows this season, in my opinion, but the one that I think is the best for my money right now is Made in Abyss.
Easily.
Hands down the best show about a bunch of kids spelunking, and it's super cutesy, but also really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dark Horse would be like one that's going to surprise me, you know? I think I'm going to go with this Magical Circle Guru Guru because, like,
okay, yeah,
I had no idea what it was. I honestly added it last minute to on my queue list, and I super enjoyed it. So
that's good.
I'm going to keep watching it, and it's funny.
Nice.
So yeah. What about you, bud?
Okay, so I didn't watch as much as you did this season.
Yeah.
But you have definitely talked to me about some things that I should definitely check out.
I'd hope you pick something up.
Overall, I think Made in Abyss is probably going to be the best this season, with a really close second of Princess Principal. I love all of that. So I'm enjoying that. Gamers, I'm going to keep watching. I don't know what it is that appeals to me so much, but it really, the characters feel genuine, and it does kind of flip itself, like flips the genre of what you think it would be.
Yeah, we're saying like it has a bunch of anime tropes, but then at the last second you're like, no, it's not, and it's super fun.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. I'm going to check out Sayuki Reload Blast because that sounds crazy to me.
All right, I'm watching that. I'm going to keep watching that too.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
I don't know about Knights and Magic, but I'm going to check out Hina Lajai from Luck and Logic.
Yeah, it's a magical girls show, essentially. And you
that's
like
what
magical girls.
Magic is?
No. Hina Lajai.
I am going to check out that one, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm just kind of quickly saying what it's about. So.
Yeah. And then we have Restaurant to Another World. I want to check that one out.
Good looking food.
Yeah, which it looks like it could be my jam for sure. I'm also going to check out Angel's 3-Piece. I'm not expecting great things, but I'm very interested in it, so I want to see that. And then Magical Girls Circle Guru Guru in Production IG. You know, it's going to be pretty good.
Oh, Welcome to the Ballroom, sorry.
I think I'm going to continue watching Welcome to the Ballroom as well. And then I'm going to watch Suridure Children. And I think that's it for me, which is honestly like a pretty big handful.
Yeah, no, like, I say all the stuff I liked and for sure going to keep watching.
Yeah.
As soon as I don't like him anymore, they're going to get dropped. And that happens every season. Like, there'll be stuff like, this was great. And then before you know it, it's like, you know what? This is fucking boring. And I'm not watching this anymore.
At the very least, we didn't cover any sequels or seasons that are continuing on.
Which is good.
But that's fine. We're going to continue watching My Hero Academia. I still think that that's probably the best anime of this season.
Oh, yeah. Are you caught up with that?
Yeah, I'm completely caught up. Watched yesterday's episode.
Yeah, me too.
It's gotten really dark.
Fucking dope.
It's gotten really good.
Fucking hero killer stain up in this bitch.
The thing that I love about this season is... Well, this half of the season, I guess, is that they were like, all right, so check it out. You guys are all going to go train with these other people, and you're going to learn how to be, like, better in some ways. And then, of course, we get to see Deku go to a person who actually knows how to teach him how to use his power.
Yeah, yeah.
And then immediately he's like, I fucking get this shit.
Because he's a genius.
Yeah, and he's, like, really smart. And then turns out that the teacher's like, you know, he's a decent teacher, and he realizes, oh, this kid learns really quick, so I can just power him through this program, and it'll be good. Which I thought was fucking great, because All Might tried.
And he can't do it, because All Might's not a teacher. Especially because, like, this internship program is only a week long.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's get this going. And we're seeing him fight, you know, fucking hero killer Stain, and he's like, he's doing the thing, man. He's doing full cowl and all that stuff.
I love that. He was just like, okay, I gotta watch his movement for a second, and then I have to trick him, and he's like, holy shit, he tricked me. And then next up, he's going back, and he's like, oh god, his movements are different. I wasn't anticipating this now.
Yeah.
And like, he's immediately picked up on things. He's like, okay, so when fighting somebody, never have predictable movement patterns. That way you can make sure to have things different and like all that. Because, you know, he starts out and he's like, all right, can't predict my movement patterns. I'm going to do something super tricky. And then after that, he's like, I got to do something even more tricky. Yeah. Keep switching it. I like this.
That's the thing that I like a lot about Deku is that, you know, he has no powers, but he's super smart. Even though it's like not like he's a genius, but he's superhero super smart.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to break things down, and he's like, oh, this is your quirk, I got it, you know, and this is how you would best use your quirk, and I think he's great. He's so fucking awesome.
It's really cool.
Also, super stoked to see Todoroki.
Todoroki's awesome, dude.
Oh, he's just fucking destroying it. Oh, man, when he showed up in this last episode, I was just like, oh, because I know what happens. I've read the manga too far out, so if season 3 comes out, I'll probably still pass that, but honestly, I'm just like, seeing it being animated, just like, oh, looks so dope.
You know, he comes in using his fire, and he's like, oh shit, you're using fire. He's like, yeah, I dealt with some shit.
Yeah, he's like,
I gotta be like a hero.
He's like, boom, yeah, talk to moms, we're good.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I was like, hell yeah. And so many shows drag stuff out. And this season, they're just like, all right, Deku learned how to, like, unleash his full power. Todoroki dealt with all of his bullshit. They're, like, getting there.
Ida's getting over his brother. He's also bleeding.
I'm mad at Ida,
He's a piece of shit, yeah.
The last 2 episodes, I'm like, Ida.
Come on, man.
Dude, you're better than that.
He is better than that. Wait till he comes back and he's better than that.
Dude, I'm waiting for him to be better than that.
Yeah, great show. So, yeah, if we're being honest, I'll probably like My Hero the most out of all these.
Yeah.
But of these new shows, looking forward to some new ones. Looking forward to not having to watch some of this crap because I've been watching crap for the last 2 weeks. Literally just sitting there and be like, let's just power through it. People are like, hey, you want to hang out? I fucking can't. I gotta watch this garbage.
Yeah, so I missed out on a lot, but I also missed out on some of the good stuff, which is kind of a bummer. Like, there were like 4 or 5 shows that I missed out on because I had to watch Spider-Man.
Because you had, So, hey, that's the show for the week. Next week, we're doing a show on director, right?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. We're probably doing a show about a director, but there's a possibility that we're going to be doing a show about something else that we've been working on for a little bit.
Maybe. We still got to work on that. We'll talk about it. Anyways, that's the show. Hey, if you like our cover art, our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. Super sweet person, super great artist. If you like our theme song, hit up Tom Nasser. He's on YouTube, he's on SoundCloud, he's on Grindr, he's on Tinder, he's on, whatever, another dirty site.
Slambook.
There we go. It's Nasser, N-A-S-R. Trip, where can you find us?
People can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same goes for Instagram. And right now, we are actually having a competition thing.
A
giveaway. Not really competition. You don't have to do anything other than follow us on Instagram and then follow Leandra Matic on Instagram. She is kind of like our social media guy. So she's giving away a Fooly Cooly 2 poster that we got at Anime Expo, which is really rad. So make sure to follow us there, follow her, and give a little shout out, give a little like. That way we could get some motion going, and you guys could get something rad.
Would you happen to know when's that going to be given away yet, or not yet?
Oh, fuck, man. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but you guys have like a good 3 or 4 days from this episode coming out.
Yeah, so get on that. I mean, I've seen plenty of people that we don't know already liking it and wanting it because it's a cool poster. It's exclusive to Anime Expo. I didn't get one. You didn't get one. No. We only grabbed one, and Leander's like, let's give it away. So it's super cool.
Yeah, this is a shout out to all our boys who listen to us. And then, you know what? If you want to follow us over on Twitter, do that. Send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Pockets didn't fit.
And shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. You guys, I had a good time watching all this garbage with you.
Okay, cool. Hey, so that's the show. This is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.